What's up, guys? It's the Essential John L. Crossfire.
And I am Nova Lee.
And you guys are tuned into Caught
In Conversation.
Shaka Laka Laka. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 139. Mark-A-Palooza 10. Mark-A-Palooza 10, Nova. Wrestlers versus Marvell II. As always, I am the Essential John L. Crossfire, and the person that I spoke to was
Nova Lee.
And this, in true Mark-A-Palooza fashion,
10.
how have we done 10 of these? And two, like, we kind of do this just because it pops ourselves, but the fact that people are actually listening and enjoying this and just the chaos that... We're not going to try not to like rant too much in the intro and of course the outro. The outro go a bit longer because I got plugs.
I've already ranted for like way too long.
This episode was, as far as the Mark-A-Palooza part of it, went smoother than any of the Mark-A-Paloozas have gone. We got through it in like just on an hour, but then between the Survivor Series predictions and then yet another spontaneous rant on cancel culture, went just under the 2-hour mark. So. Yeah, it is what it is, but...
You win some, you lose some.
Honestly, I feel like we got a lot out of this. I got a lot out of this. I enjoyed it. Nova Lee enjoyed it. Kye said he enjoyed it, so hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. Nova Lee, if you would like to give us the song and match of the week, explain why we've picked them, and then I'll hit the button, which gets used a lot in this conversation as well. But yeah, explain the song and match of the week. Well, give us the song and match of the week and we'll explain why they are. And yeah, we can get into this conversation with Kye.
Alrighty, so your song of the week for episode 139 was Hero by Chad Kroger. And your match of the week for episode 139 is Undertaker versus, Jesus Christ, how do I say that name?
Heidenreich
casket match. Royal Rumble 2005.
Shout out to John Heidenreich and his creepy poetry when he had Michael Cole pinned against the wall and he was reading in poetry. Yeah, that is a god tier wrestling segment. Wrestling in the mid-2000s was fucking weird, man. But yeah, explain why we picked the song and I'll explain why I picked that match, Nova.
So I picked the song because I was like, well, Spider-Man, fucking obviously. Also, it's one of my favourite songs, and it's a karaoke song of John's as well as mine. So, you know,
not as much as a karaoke song as one of the other ones that you had on the list, but yeah. I do enjoy. I'm so high. I'd probably butcher it so fucking bad.
It was so hard because I wanted to go Hero by Mariah Carey just for the shits and gigs, and I mean it's nearly December.
Coming up on Mariah.
So
it doesn't matter what you want for Christmas. The Rock says
the other one was Hero by Enrique
Iglesias. Now that is one of my ultimate karaoke songs, which is why I think you brought that up. But
yeah, and then there was My Hero by Foo Fighters, but
the official song
by Chad Kroger won.
Chad Kroger, of course, of Nickelback fame, and I'm glad.
I'm just a Nickelback fan.
In 2024, Nova, this weird thing happened. Creed announced that they were going to be touring in 2024, LA 2024 / a proper tour in 2025.
Yes.
And the internet has randomly just started accepting the Nickelback after years upon years of hate. So divorced Dad Rock
wins!
Has just randomly been embraced by society.
I've just always loved my divorced Dad Rock, which is hilarious.
With homes, right home.
Just a divorced
Could you imagine like a Nickelback? We need to do like a full-on karaoke night where it's just divorced Dad Rock. That's all I'm saying.
I love that you keep slipping very American. Can you just imagine a divorced dad
dude,
Nickelback?
We should do a karaoke night that's like just divorced Dad Rock. We could get like Hoobastank and Creed and Nickelback, dude. I don't know why I'm fucking crushed the turtle all of a sudden from Finding
American badass.
You'll hear at the start of this conversation, my accent slipped a few times. I don't know. But no, like divorced Dad Rock for the category for karaoke needs to happen.
Why did you pick this match?
The reason I picked this match was, without giving spoilers, we were talking about The Undertaker versus Ghost Rider, which is one of our matches and stipulations.
If you voted, you know about it.
And we did come up with a very original, actually, courtesy of my original stipulation. And one of your suggestions, Nova, you were kind of thinking casket match, like ballpark.
Yeah.
I said no, not a casket match. I said something else. Then Kye said something completely left field.
And I said, let's just merge shit
and then
together.
my idea and his idea smushed together to create what we came up with. Listen to the episode to find out. But then basically, that made me think of a match type, which made me think of a match, which made me think of another match, which made me think of another match, which made me think of another match. And now we're here with Undertaker and Heidenreich at a casket match. And Rumble 05, top to bottom, is probably the greatest Rumble pay-per-view of all time. People say 04 is pretty great. Personally, I say 05. But opinions are like ice cream. We all like different ones.
Yeah.
It's also the expression that opinions are like arseholes. Some stink more than others. But it's wrestling, all right? It's a great pay-per-view. This is a great match. But let's not fiddle-fart around anymore.
Let's get into that.
There's a lot of shit in this episode, and I've got a lot of stuff that I got to plug in the outro. So without further ado, I press this magic button, and then Nova Lee's going to warm up.
Hijacking our podcast again for Mark-A-Palooza 10, he is Mighty Kye!
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Mighty Kye. Me and Nova are currently smashing down must sticks. We were just talking to Kye off air, and as per usual, every episode that Kye has been on, we've had technical issues. Nova just branded him the cursed child, so do with that what you will when you eventually get your own show. Maybe you can have some sort of segment revolving around that. I don't fucking know, I'm just spitballing, but how are you actually doing tonight for myself and Nova and the listeners, my dude?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I napped for like 4 hours this afternoon, so I feel fantastic right now.
I did not, and I need sugar, so that's why I'm snacking on shit.
I'm not just sipping on my coffee and like just out of the corner of my eye, my good eye, it was almost like a mouse just snacking on something, and I'm like, the fuck? And Nova Lee just pulls must sticks out of fucking nowhere. Bruh. How long were you munching on them before I noticed?
Only a couple of seconds.
Oh, okay.
I only had 2 at that point. They're only little ones.
Because I was like, fuck, you just been eating munchies the whole time without me noticing because I was talking to Kye.
I had a couple of blue clouds as well.
No. Oh, my God. This is already derailed. Anyway. Nova, as per usual, we're here, we're doing Mark-A-Palooza and all the fun stuff. Nova has the rules in front of her. They're pretty standard because this is number 10 now of Mark-A-Palooza, and over the 3 different formats we've done, this has easily become I don't think it's the most fun format, to be honest. That just throws to the wall. But Nova, if you want to just rapid fire through the rules, and then myself and yourself and Kye can just get into just going fucking nuts and causing chaos.
Okay. As usual, between the 3 of us, we rotated between choosing a wrestler / a Marvel character, respectfully, until we had all 3 of us. But what?
Did I make a typo?
Yeah, respectively until we had and then that's you stopped it.
Well, had our card / roster.
Had our card /
I'm gonna leave that in.
All 3 of us booked. You're just setting me up for failure here, mate. All 3 of us booked cards in our own recorded order.
I was about to say respective, so again.
Recorded order.
Fuck me.
And the whole point of this episode is to get an official order.
Yes. I got that bit right.
It will be majority.
Yay!
This is going on Bottomania.
I'm gonna suplex this bitch through a table in a minute. Shut the fuck up.
Would you like to just start from the beginning, but I'll still leave all that in?
No, I'll just keep going where I'm at. That's fine. It will be majority rules. Jesus Christ, now I'm fucking up. It'll be majority rules, so if at least 2 of us have a match in the same spot, it will be locked in. Yes. Match results will be voted on by the listeners prior to recording, which we have already done that.
Yes, I've got that tallied.
We can't share our own votes until the full card is locked in. The main event was already locked in ahead of recording. We will share our predictions for Survivor Series 2024 at the end of this episode.
Nailed it! Yeah! You know what pisses me off is I double and triple checked that there was no typos, and somehow they were still
I should have read it. I feel like I should have read it beforehand, and I could have just ad-libbed it, but I didn't. Because Because I didn't know I was reading the rules, so I was like, oh, shit, on the
I had
spot.
to get you to do something. You're the ring announcer, officially.
Yeah.
You've done 2 shows as the official ring announcer. Every show I've ring announced has just been because I'm there, so it's like, you, do it. Didn't have a fancy title. I was just the guy announcing the names. Anyway.
Cool.
I just like to point out, though, to the listeners here, Kye had his card written like 3 weeks ago. I shit you not.
Yeah.
I waited until yesterday to do mine, and then Nova waited.
Slack.
Granted, Nova wasn't sure because of her health and stuff and just how busy we've been lately. She wasn't sure if she was going to be on the episode. She waited until an hour before we recorded, before she put her card together. So, I
thrive under chaos.
In true Mark-A-Palooza
okay?
chaos, and I know Kye, because he's a massive troll, loves just throwing this fucking show into utter chaos as it is, as if it needed more chaos. This is going to get ridiculous, I feel.
Let's get ridiculous.
So with that being said, Nova Lee, I will quickly run through the matches that we have made, just in the order that they were made. And then we'll get into our personal orders and lock them in and all the fun stuff. And I've been a bit slack. I've only given 1 stipulation for this whole card.
Oh, fuck, I didn't realise.
Kye, I think, has done stipulations for all of them, so...
I have done no stipulations, so here we are. Yay!
Okay, just as a sidebar, when we're recording, can you actually hear the soundboard on your end, Kye?
Yeah, I can,
Oh,
yeah.
excellent!
Yes!
Yeah! Fucking hell. Okay, so the matches we have are American Badass Undertaker. I don't know why I sounded American when I said that.
Badass.
He's such a badass. American Badass Undertaker versus Ghost Rider. Sandman versus Sandman. Rey Mysterio versus Silver Surfer. Brock Lesnar versus Beast from X-Men. Ricochet versus Spider-Man 2099. Jade Cargill versus Storm, or as Kye wants to say, it's basically Storm versus Storm since we've already got Sandman versus Sandman. Joe Hendry versus Captain America. Vince McMahon, pal, versus Tony Stark, specifically Tony Stark outside of the Iron Man suit. Seth freaking Rollins versus Deadpool. And then our main event, which as always with these ones, we waited until last to do the main event, so a lot of the good wrestlers and Marvel characters were taken, so we made it extra ridiculous. But we have a Survivor Series tag team match. Team captain, Mae Young, Daniel Bryan from his No era, Trish Adora, who is an up-and-coming indie wrestler that Nova Lee is just a massive fan of, so she threw her in there, even though not many people know who she is. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and then the Marvel side, we have Uncle Ben as the team captain. It was meant to be Tobey Maguire era Uncle Ben, but I genuinely couldn't find a good enough fucking promo pic, so it ended up being Andrew Garfield era Uncle Ben, but still a great Uncle Ben regardless. Moon Knight, Professor X, and Wolverine, and it's current Wolverine, so he is still badass, but he's a bit fucking old.
Badass.
Anyway, we're going to jump straight into this now. How do we rotate this? Does Kye go first? Does Nova go first? Because technically it's ladies first, but then Kye's the guest. So.
I think guests go first.
So what we'll do is we'll go Kye, you, me. Right? We'll rotate it in a circle. Kye, what match did you have for the first of the 2 pre-show matches, which I forgot to put in the actual rules? It's 10 matches, 2 pre-shows, 8-man card. Whatever. Fucking sue me. What match did you have for the first pre-show match, Kye?
I put Jade versus Storm.
Jade versus Storm. What did you have, Nova?
I had the same.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to press this button yet again. That's our first match officially locked in. For those playing...
That's the first time that's happened since I've been on here, where someone else
Straight
has
out
got
the gate.
in order.
Straight out the gate. Jade Cargill versus Storm. Damn, no ladies except for Mae Young on the main card. For those playing at home... My 2 pre-show matches might actually piss people off. My first pre-show match was actually Rey Mysterio versus the Silver Surfer.
I was supposed to say, too, Trish Adora is another female on the main
card. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Thank
she's
you.
in the... I just said that. My bad. Fucking sue me. Okay, so that's already locked in. Jade Cargill versus Storm. As per Mighty Kye and Nova Lee, as I said, I had Rey Mysterio versus the Silver Surfer because, look, I love Rey Mysterio, but if we're going current day Rey Mysterio, he's a bit old. I know I used the... I think it was a 2008 or 2009 render, because the whole cusp of this was me and Kye wanted Sandman versus Sandman, and then Silver Surfer Rey. Rey's done an actual Silver Surfer like cosplay at SummerSlam 06. I had the render ready to go and I did it and I showed Nova. And the match graphic, because it's like, it was just before WWE went to like HD, the match graphic just looked so gross. Like it was so pixelated and just, so I just found a generic Rey Mysterio still in silver gear for those playing at home. But okay.
Almost a better Mysterio.
But yes, my bad. So sorry, Ray. But who did you have locked in as your interim match 2, Kye, for the pre-show?
For that one, I had Ray and Silver Surfer.
Okay. So they may still end up on the pre-show. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one thinking that, because there's going to be a lot of people going, why would you put Rey Mysterio, Hall of Fame? Fuck you, this is my show. Nova Lee, who did you have for the second match on the pre-show?
Fuck you, I'm one of those people. It's not that. So mine was McMahon versus Stark.
Well,
McMahon's fucking old. That's how I was going with it.
Originally I was going to go McMahon and Stark as the main event of the pre-show per se, but because I'm looking at this card and like we've got some flippy floppies and we got all this stuff, I've actually got Brock Lesnar versus Beast on my pre-show. Oh. And again, people are going to be like, why did I put Brock Lesnar on the pre-show? But at the same time, for those, obviously we're not going to reveal the votes until the card's locked in. This match was a fucking landslide. So factoring that in, I was kind of like, I'm not going to say which way it's going, but it's a borderline squash. So I'm like, cool, we can have big meaty men slap and meet, and then we can take a break, and then we can come to the main card. So, okay, so you have Mysterio versus Silver Surfer. You have McMahon versus Stark. I had Lesnar versus Beast. This is 3 completely different matches. I kind of want to say Mysterio versus Surfer just because they were my first pre-show match, but I'm getting... I think Nova just doesn't want Rey Mysterio on the pre-show.
No, that hurts my feelings. It makes me sad.
So
the nostalgia says no.
So what do we should we state our case here, or should we kind of just...
Well, I mean, you and Kye both essentially saying that, so what if we do a flip between you two versus me, or does it just go... Screw what I think, because there's already 2 votes.
Yeah, but they were technically in different spots. So what do you think? Should we just flip a coin here?
Just flip a coin.
Alright, Nova or Kye, who's calling it?
I'm going to say Tails.
Okay. Well,
that's alright.
Okay. That's 1 for heads. That's 2 for heads, alright.
Fuck my life.
So match number 2 on the pre-show is just going to be Rey Mysterio versus the... See, look, this is what I like. We're trying to just power through this, because once we get the cards actually locked in, it's going to be... It's probably going to be stupidity. And then we've got the Survivor Series predictions after that, so...
If it makes you guys feel any better, I have a stipulation for Ray and Silver Surfer, so it would still make the match interesting on the pre-show.
Well, once we get that locked in, I'm glad to hear it. But for the opener of the main card, Kye, what have you got?
That's where I've got Brock versus Beast.
Okay, Nova, what did you have?
I thought come in hot and have Ricochet versus Spidey.
Fuck, we've gone all 3 complete. I went Joe Hendry versus Captain America. Ricochet versus Spidey was originally my pick because it was like a flippy high Spidey type match.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But I'm thinking, if you get the fans and just thinking Mark-A-Palooza of the universe, we've got 100,000 people in the Space Dome, brother, somewhere in the middle of nowhere with the Marvel Spark. Yay, the Marvel Sparkle Circles. Fuck, I love that movie. If we have 100,000 humans and aliens and Marvel characters and everything in between just clapping along to I Believe in Joe Hendry. That, to me, that's all you need. They're on their feet already. But then at the same time, Kye, I can see where you're coming from with the big meaty men just coming in and, suplex city bitch. But I'm assuming Beast would have a very similar style to Brock Lesnar. They'd just be suplexing each other and some big smacking fucking meat. So state your case here, Kye, for you having Lesnar and Beast.
I just wanted to, get the 2 pre-shows out of the way and then come in with a big match like that, and then obviously the other matches are down the card, but we could probably put Joe Hendry there. I personally don't mind. Okay,
so what's your take on this, Nova? Are you happy to admit that, or are you going to fight for Spider-Man? And
I really want Spider-Man and Ricochet. Mainly because I'm just like, I want to start it hot.
Should we just flip another coin again then, or...?
Yeah, but I'm going to Tails again.
Okay,
Tails is meant to never fail.
Tails never fails, but it already failed. Okay, yeah. I accidentally closed the coin flip app. Oh, we got a heads.
Fuck, really? This is rigged.
Oh, we got tails.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we got heads again. Okay.
Rigged!
So your opening matchup
That's fine.
is Joe Hendry versus Captain America. All right. Match 2, Kai, on the main card. Who did you have?
For match 2, I had Spider-Man versus Ricochet.
Okay. Who did you have for match 2, Nova?
I had Sandman versus Sandman because I was going to go hot and then slow down a little bit.
Well, this is going to make your day, Nova, because I also said Sandman versus Sandman. So majority rules, match 2 is locked in. How is it that we have an extra person? Like, Nova's usually just kind of been on the show for bands and stuff, and she was the official coin flipper on one of them. But, like,
I'm here to fuck shit up.
How is it that we've got 3 people on this card and we've moved through it quicker than we usually do when it's just me and Kai?
See, I fucked a little bit of shit up, but not that much. But, yeah.
Okay, well, that being said, match 3 on the main card. Kai, who did you have?
See, this is where I screwed up because I have to now skip over some stuff.
Oh, because you forgot one of the matches. I remember you messaged me about that. You're like, I think I've missed something. And I was like, yeah, I had a match missing. I had 9 matches written down. And I was like, fuck, what do I put in the main event? And then realized that my main event was already locked in anyway, and it was the tag match.
Where did I put that note? It was in here somewhere. Seth versus Deadpool.
Okay.
It was right in front of me. I couldn't see because I'm retarded.
All right, so Seth versus Deadpool was your official match 3 once you realised you'd forgotten something?
Yes.
What about you, Nova? What did you have for match 3?
I have Lesnar versus Beast.
And this is where I had Ricochet versus Spider-Man. So again...
Because I was going hot, slow down a little bit, slow down just to big meaty men like hitting each other.
So to recap, so far on the pre-show we have Jaden, Storm, Mysterio and Sturfer. The main card we open with Cap versus Hendry and then Sandman versus Sandman, so now match 3. Kai said Seth versus Deadpool. You said Lesnar versus Beast. I've got Ricochet versus Spider-Man. Again, 3 very different types of matches here, so I guess Kai, state your case here for Seth versus Deadpool being match number 3.
I can't state my case here. I screwed up, realized that I missed a match, and then I was like, I need to add this in.
You know what, though?
It's just in the place.
If we were to book this like an actual card, though, why do I keep going American? If we were to book this like an actual card, right, that would honestly make sense. Because guys like Seth Rollins and Randy Orton and, you know, Rey Mysterio, to his credit, CM Punk, guys like that during like the mid-2000s, like early 2010s, they were always guys that if they weren't on a program and they needed someone else on the card, it was just, hey, put him in a match with that guy. So it's a case of, oh, fuck, we need that young up-and-comer Deadpool to face someone. Fuck it, pal, give him to Seth freaking Rollins. He'll make him look good. Ha, 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 ha. So, like, honestly.
And then with me, mine's further down.
Yeah, I've got that a little bit further down as well. So, I'm happy to not have Ricochet versus Spidey there, to be honest. Because I feel like match 3, and because this is a super show, there should be, in theory, no piss breaks. The fans should sit there for 4 hours straight and just try not to piss themselves.
I feel like there's not really any piss breaks on here.
So I'm happy to forego Ricochet versus Spidey and have you guys just fight between Seth versus Deadpool and Lesnar versus Beast, honestly. Because as I said, I had Lesnar versus Beast on my pre-show.
We could flip again, but I'm probably just going to get fucked over.
You know what, Kai? I'll let you call it this time. Heads or tails?
Heads.
Heads? Oh, we got a head. Oh, we got a tails. We need video footage of this, honestly. Oh, we got heads again. Heads is dominating tonight.
That is so bullshit.
Okay, so Seth...
What was that about tails never failing?
Fucking fails 3 times in a row.
All right.
Well, she's going to bury me for that. That's okay.
Okay, so Seth versus Deadpool is match number 3. Match number 4, Kai, who have you got?
That's probably where I've got Sandman versus Sandman.
Okay, but we've already...
All my notes are, like, messed up now.
So that we've
So
got
kind of got to
Sandman
like.
versus Sandman locked in. So who did you have for match?
Oh, that's right. We did too.
So match 4 and over then. Who did you have?
That's where I had Hendry and Cap, so I'm out.
Well, I had Cargill versus Storm, so I'm out. So, do we have suggestions, ladies and gentlemen, for who to slot? Because I'm thinking of, I think that would be a good spot to put Lesnar and Beast, personally.
Okay, let's do that then.
Yep.
Yeah, because I wanted Lesnar and Beast at match 3, so that's only like one down.
It's kind of in the middle area. It's kind of funny, though, because, like, Brock Lesnar, like, his, like, recent runs in the company, he's either been in the main event or in the opener. He's never really been in the mid-card, but here in Mark-A-Palooza... Oh, dude, I hope we... If / when he returns, I hope we get more Cowboy Brock as a babyface, because that was just awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Match 5 on the main card, Kai. Who did you have?
Like I said, my notes are all over the place now. Tony Stark versus Vince.
Okay, yep. Who did you have there, Nova?
I had Mysterio and Surfer.
So this is actually where I had Seth versus Deadpool. So did you want to just slot McMahon and Stark in there?
If he's one, I don't care. Like, I'm happy with whatever.
Okay, McMahon versus Stark. Again, how is this flowing so much easier with a 3-person booth? This is... Okay, so that's match 1, 2, 3, 4. Match 6, because I've just written 1 to 10 rather than go 2 and then... Okay, so we only have technically 3 matches left, but we've only got 2 matches left to lock in, I think, which is Ricochet versus Spidey and Taker versus Ghost Rider. So, Kai, who did you have for match 8?
Aren't we up to 6?
Wait, match 6 all up. It's match 6 all up, but it's, yeah. That's, as I said, I've got it written 1 to 10.
Oh, yeah.
So 1 and 2 are pre-show, and then 3 to 10 are
yeah.
main card. I've fucked myself up here with my notes, Kai. Okay, match 6 of the main card. We have Ghost Rider versus Taker left, and Ricochet versus Spidey left. Who did you have locked in at this point?
See, I had Taker and Ghost Rider, but I was honestly thinking we should probably just slot Spidey and Ricochet, because Taker's obviously... Sorry, Ricochet, but Taker's like 1,000 times way better than you.
So who did you have as match 6, Nova?
I had Biker Taker versus Ghost Rider.
So I originally had... where am I at? So this is where I had McMahon versus Stark. Because as I said, there's technically no piss breaks, but that was kind of like a piss break area. And then for the semi-main, because it's the last one left to lock in, I had Taker versus Ghost Rider because I was kind of doing it as like a double main event sort of thing.
I was doing that as well, but I was doing Seth and Deadpool.
Okay.
Because all the hype around Deadpool at the moment, I was like, yeah, let's go.
So I'm kind of agreeing with Kai on if we lock Ricochet and Spidey in there and then having Taker in that as a double main, but it's up to you, Nova. You can fight to have...
I'm probably just going to lose again, so let's just lock it in.
Okay, so we're going to go Ricochet versus Spidey, and then the next match, just by default, is Taker versus Ricochet versus Spidey, 2099.
I think if we was to flip the coin again, you'd never see that coin again.
Yeah, or his phone, because it's on his phone, so...
Thank God it's on the phone charger and she can't currently reach it. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, that will lock in our final card of... On the pre-show, we have Jade Cargill versus Storm, or arguably Storm versus Storm. Rey Mysterio versus the Silver Surfer. And then the main card, we have Joe Hendry versus Captain America. Sandman versus Sandman. Seth versus Deadpool. Lesnar versus Beast. McMahon versus Stark. Ricochet versus Spider-Man 2099. Undertaker versus Ghost Rider. And then in our main event, we have Team Wrestlers versus Team Marvel in a Survivor Series style tag team match. So with that being said, let's get into the stipulations. Going up to Jade versus... I almost said Storm versus Storm that time as by accident. Going up to... Fuck my life. Going up to Jade versus Storm in the pre-show, do we think that should have a stipulation or do we just leave it as is, guys?
I mean, I've got one written down, but if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. I've just written stipulations down for all of them except for one, just to make it a little more interesting.
Okay.
But we don't have to have them.
What was your suggestion for the stipulation?
It's a really cheesy one. Again. It's called Eye of the Storm match. I don't know.
Okay, what exactly does an Eye of the Storm match entail?
I really don't know. I didn't really think about it too much.
They fight in a tornado.
And somehow that gets relegated to the somehow that gets relegated to the fucking pre-show. One of you may actually die for real. No, but you're on the pre-show.
Actually, I can actually see that. So, if you think to the new Space Jam, right? They had all that shit going on because they were playing the game in outer space. You could have like some space friggin' like thunderstorm or friggin' like
a space tornado.
Yeah, a space tornado, and you have to fight. And it's like a simulated thing. I could see that.
So is this like a cinematic style match?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
See, that kind of fucks my one of my matches in a way, though. But if y'all are going to majority rules me on this, then...
I mean, I'm for that. Like, it actually sounds pretty fucking cool.
Okay, so...
For a pre-show match, that's
Jade
pretty fucking...
versus Storm.
That's pretty freaking awesome.
In an Eye of the Storm cinematic masterpiece. I don't fucking...
This is very similar to the Golden Showers match that we did a couple episodes ago. I was not thinking about it, and I just thought of the name and just went, "Here's your stipulation."
I feel like at least we covered that one though, because we were like, "Hey, Maven and Goldust with the gold trash cans. Let's just have everything be gold." But okay, an Eye of the Storm cinematic. Man, we need like AI to like recreate these fucking Mark-A-Palooza episodes, honestly. Alright, so Mysterio versus Serthikai. You said that you actually had a stipulation in mind for this.
Yeah, Mask versus Board.
Mask versus Board, okay. See, that's an interesting one, because like it's not just a traditional like weapon, so to speak. Like in Silver Surfer's case, like he does harness the power of it. It's almost like an Undertaker's urn type of thing if we were to take that into a wrestling situation. Yeah. So like I dig that. And again, it's the pre-show, but I'm kind of sold. What's your take on that, Nova?
Yeah, no, I'm actually keen for that.
Should we lock that in?
Yeah, I think
Mask versus Board.
Pretty good.
Jesus Christ, this shit.
Like
again, fucking if someone has like actual AI technology and stuff that they want to use to recreate this, please do that. Okay, Joe Hendry versus Captain America on the main card. And does it need a stipulation or? I don't feel like it does, but you can enlighten us regardless.
I had one written down, but I look at it now and it's kind of stupid because the idea I had it just crossed my mind. I was like, wait, how is this going to work? It was going to be a capture the flag match, kind of like a ladder match, but.
Oh my! But they have done that many, many times in WWE, where it's 9 out of 10 times the USA wins because that's such good shit, pal. A flag? Do we make it a flag match or do we? Because I think John Cena and Rusev actually did one as well, where it was like pin. Was it John Cena? No, theirs wasn't pin. There was one that was pinfall or submission. It was like someone, and like the winner got to have their flag raised at the end, which is. Even just as weird. I don't know. I think... do we just leave it normally, do you think? I don't know.
Yeah. Leave it normally.
Because I'm like, Scotland versus America does make sense, but at the same time, it's kind of like, if this is in Mark-A-Palooza land and it's, in outer space and the fucking portals and shit, because Marvel, that these aliens are going to be like, no idea what the fuck's going on. It's like the Collector's... No, it's not the Collector that has the fucking thing. He's the one that has the collection. The guy that's in, like, Thor Ragnarok, that's, like, the owner of, like, the fights and shit, that has, like, Hulk as a prisoner. I could see him, like, doing this kind of, like, thing. You know what, actually, side note, John Cena was meant to be one of the champions in that movie way back when, and for some reason it fell through, and that makes me sad, because it would have been cool to have, like, a John Cena cameo in Marvel. But anyway, that's my TED Talk for the day. Sandman versus Sandman. I kind of, I didn't write it down, but I kind of felt like it should have been like a Singapore cane match, but that's just me. But at the same time, I don't know, because other Sandman...
I think it's just like a fight pit or something.
Yeah, some sort of like hardcore-y... Did you have a specific name for this written down, Kai? Or?
I just called it what do they call it? Sand fight pit match thingy.
Okay, that's on the lines of what I'm thinking.
Shit, pal. This is a sand thingy mababa jig.
So, see what I was kind of thinking, right?
A sandbox match.
No.
Or a sand pit match.
No, shut up. Let me tell you. There's like another simulated match. You're in the desert of like Cairo and like Egypt and shit, and there's all this fucking sand.
Is that because you've been watching me play Assassin's Creed Origins?
Probably. But yes, but you're in the desert, and it's kind of like, you got all this sand and shit, and it's like, yeah.
I think we combine those two matches, have it not be like cinematic, but you have it like in like, they're in like a separate room, similar to like the old school like boiler room brawls.
Yeah.
Like with Mankind and stuff. And you kind of combine it with like a parking lot brawl. Like they're like in a sand, like some sort of sandbox deathmatch or sand trap deathmatch.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
That sounds good.
Sand trap deathmatch.
Because you're getting sand.
We're cooking.
You're getting sand in like your eyes and shit, and then you've got fucking, you get cut open, and you've got friggin' all these weapons.
And like you can think of a spot where like, even though there's all of these weapons at their disposable, Sandman the wrestler is going to try and go for his kendo stick just because like he's attached to it. So imagine like there's all of these weapons scattered around. His fucking kendo stick, or Singapore cane as he called it, gets lost in the sand. So he's like trying to dig through the sand to fight it out. Fucking actual Sandman pops out of the sand with like some sort of like chair or club or something and just knocks him for 6.
Yeah. Chokes
him out like in the sand. I don't actually know who's going to win this one because spoiler alert, this is one I think that was tied, but I'm just thinking of like, you know, from a wrestling standpoint, they did it in the Hell in a Cell match with Sasha and Bayley, where Bayley was like attached to that one chair, where like there was all the chairs around, but she wanted that one because it was the one, and then obviously she couldn't reach it because it got thrown outside the cell and all the fun stuff. But no, I can 100% see that we've just combined basically Nova's and Kye's idea, and then I've Vince McMahon'd it, and I've basically smushed the two ideas together and made it sound like my own.
More like Russo?
I feel like I've Vince McMahon'd it because you've both given me material, and then I've just twisted the material to make it like such good shit, pal. Like Kye's like, they should fight in sand, and Nova's like, what about this? Okay, a sand trap deathmatch. And I think that at some point Sandman's cane gets lost in the sand, and there's lots of drama and fucking blah, blah, blah. If y'all have seen the Spider-Man movies, even though Spider-Man 3 gets shat on, Sandman is a very trickery son of a bitch in terms of the Marvel version of Sandman. And I don't doubt for a second that he'd hide in the actual sand and give a little sneak attack.
You just imagine him blending in with the sand, and then he's actually holding the kendo stick.
Yeah, like even that, like, where's the kendo stick? And it's just, he finds it, and then it's like, bang, and it just magically smacks him in the face. And then old mate, like, transforms back into his human form.
Yeah.
We're cooking here. We're cooking. All right, Seth versus Deadpool. So to me, I think this should just be normal, but Kye said he's got stuff down, so...
I didn't have a stipulation for this one. I forgot to add it. I couldn't be bothered to add it either. So I think just a normal match.
State your case, Nova. Do you think we need a stipulation for Seth and Deadpool, or do we just leave it normal?
Probably not, but I feel like it should be just essentially like anyone can fucking interfere. So like, what do you call it? Fucking, I can't think of the stipulation.
So just like a random, just a generic no DQ match, but nothing like...
Yeah, no DQ, but nothing too wild. I think like no DQ, because I was like, Deadpool, like as much as he was fighting in the new movie with all the other Deadpools, he could bring in friggin' anyone he wanted. He could even have Wolverine there if he wanted.
Yeah, I'll say that. Just a generic...
Yeah, so he can just bring
Let's just call it a street fight. Let's just say street fight. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Lesnar versus Beast, I think, should just be a
straight
generic,
meaty men. Yeah.
But Kye said he did have a stipulation written down, so...
Where I just had it as a straight fight, like a no DQ match.
Do we do back-to-back street fights? Is that too over the top here? Because I had McMahon and Stark at the next match. I had that as a street fight as well. Do we just do 3 street fights in a row? Is that...
It's up to you guys. I'm not fast.
Fuck it, I'm going to lock it in.
That's a lot of carnage for a wrestling show. I think we're going to have to make this, 18-plus show at least.
I'm locking this in. That's it.
No baby aliens.
Okay, it's a street fight as well. What did you have for the sake of the argument for McMahon versus Stark, Kai?
I had like a Money in the Bank style ladder match, but they're actually fighting for like money. Like there's actual like money inside the briefcase.
A Moneybags ladder match.
The Battle of the Billionaires.
What do you think, Nova? Do you think we make this a ladder match? Or do we just leave it as a regular...
It's up to you guys. I don't mind.
Because I kind of like that.
Chill. Yeah, no, I think that's
Fuck it. We're going to have 2 street fights in a row. Then we're going to go to a Moneybags ladder match.
Hey, Vince can take a ladder bomb.
I mean, he did a leg drop off a ladder against Hulk Hogan.
So, the next one...
Brother.
The next one I had a stipulation for.
Okay. Because when I was booking this match with Vince and Stark, I was literally thinking of McMahon versus Hogan and McMahon versus Flair along that same veins of, it's a street fight, but they were actually pretty decent matches. So that's a little... And it's kind of ironic that we go from a ladder match between basically, like, you know, obviously Tony Stark isn't as old as Vince, but at this point, Tony Stark's old, he's battered, he's beaten, he's hurt, he's old, he's tired, and he works with fucking children.
Hey.
But for those who get the reference.
Hey. But to level it out, like, it probably defeats the purpose of having the ladder. But to even it out, they both wear their fucking suits. So you know how fucking old mates were in the other suit?
So out of nowhere, halfway through the match, Tony Stark puts on the Iron Man suit, but then randomly Vince McMahon has a McMahon-esque.
Yeah, suit as well. I'm like, that would be fucking sick.
Oh, I'm here for the fuckery. I'm absolutely here for it. All right, no, that's cool. But I still think it's funny, though, that you say here's a ladder match on paper between these 2 old cunts, and then here's the flippy-dippy match between Spider-Man and Ricochet afterwards.
Yeah, and I had a stipulation for that, but I don't know if that's too much.
Okay, Kai, tell me your stipulation, and then Nova enlighten me, because I just had this as a regular...
I had this as a steel cage match.
Okay.
Because everyone's seen what Ricochet can do when he climbs to the top of a cage. And if he hits a 630 off the cage and lands it, it's just a thing of beauty.
And although it's not the same version of Spider-Man, all I can think of when you say that is, I got you for 3 minutes of playtime. You're going nowhere.
That's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you?
Have you seen the meme where it's like, yes, actually, he worked really hard on this? Okay, Nova, what was your suggestion?
See, that actually just sounds better than mine. But mine was just essentially like, what do you call it? Like, the lumberjack. The lumberjack friggin' what?
A lumberjack match?
Yeah, lumberjack match. So it's like, because they like all flippy doing shit, some of them are going outside, they get
So also they're not allowed to essentially like do dives outside the ring and...
Well, I was thinking they could, but then they're going to just get pushed straight. They're going to just get pushed straight back in. But then Spidey can keep using it as an advantage. He's got like webs, so he can go.
Spider-Man just crowd surfs across the lumberjacks to do some sort of flippy thing back into the ring.
Yeah, can whip himself back in.
All right. Well, do you want to do a? Do you want to do a coin flip again?
We can try, but I'm going heads.
You
watch me lose.
I think I'll let her take this one.
You're actually going to let me have one? What?
Yeah, I'll let you take this one.
Yay! Because I have only currently... Did I lose?
So I just flipped the coin just for the sake of it. And it just went 1 heads and 2 tails.
What the fuck, mate? You just hate that phone. Me and that phone are going to have a beef later.
Kai, call it. Do you want the cage or do you want Teak/Nova to have her lumberjack match?
We'll have the lumberjack match.
Thank you, Kai.
That may, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a lumberjack match actually be used in that way.
I just thought it...
Have they ever done that, like a lucha style? Like, that is actually a genius idea. Because it's like, rather than, do 102 fucking dives to the outside, you get 1 or 2 spots using the lumberjacks, and you've really got to be creative with that shit. That's...
2K need to add lumberjack matches for 2K25.
Oh, dude, yeah. It used to piss me off, like, back in the day where you'd have, like, the slobber knocker matches, but you couldn't exit the ring. I feel like they could have, like, done it in that same sort of vein where it was just like, hey, if you're going to just auto-generate all these people, just put them there. It's fine. Honestly, though, Nova, you have actually blown my mind with that. Like,
I do every time we like do these. Though.
Like, again, jokes aside, it is very Vince Russo-esque.
Yeah.
But a Lucha Lumberjack match.
Yeah.
Now, not to big note myself here, but we do have a lot of people in the industry that listen to this, both in Australia and worldwide, that have booking influences in certain promotions here and there. If someone wants to please, for the love of God, book a Lucha Lumberjack match, you don't even have to credit us. I don't care. I just got to see this. Like, that's actually just blown my mind. Like,
you're welcome.
all right, so we've got Undertaker versus Ghost Rider. This was the only one where I actually specifically wrote my stipulation down properly.
Is it bike versus bike like the Cars one?
No, it's not. But was that your stipulation? Like,
no, you know how we had the Cars one, and then like they came into like the thing, old mate with the car with the lift, and then you have like.
Oh, this is what the Disney one where you had fucking
Yeah.
Lightning McQueen. I can't do this. I love that everyone thought I put Lightning McQueen in a wrestling setting just because it makes sense. I love cars, but Nova Lee just, Jesus Christ. Go back and listen to the Disney one if you haven't already. That was fucking ridiculous. Kai, what is your stipulation for Undertaker versus Ghost Rider? My God.
I had a hog-tied to bike match.
Hog tied to the bikes.
Yes.
Okay. So are they like...
Because when we put this together, all I thought about was when Undertaker hog-tied Hogan to the bike and then drove off.
So is it like they're fighting while respectively hog-tied, or the loser gets hog-tied?
Oh no, they're fighting and they have to hog-tie each other to the other person to the bike.
Oh, so you win. You essentially, like, it's like a stretcher match. You win.
I was going to say, like a casket match, except you're not going in the casket, you're getting hog-tied.
Okay.
That's cool.
Nova,
I actually like that.
Do you have...
I don't have anything, so I actually really like that. I just made that joke about just bikes and shit, but yeah.
We're racing for pinks, brother. So my match was a last ride match. For those not familiar with the last ride match, it's essentially a fucking ambulance match, but with a hearse. And in my mind, I'm like, you could do this as either... So my original idea was to do this similar to the Boneyard match, which was basically just a buried alive match, but cinematic, where it was a last ride match, but done in a really cinematic style, and you could have multiple cameos from different versions of Ghost Rider and possibly different versions of Taker, just for the sake of it, even though it was between the two. But it was like a hearse, but with a motorbike for the front. I don't know if that exists. If someone has a good AI app, a motorbike hearse, you could bring that to life. That would be sick. But that was my thing, was a last ride match. But I kind of do like the hog tie. I don't know. I'm torn, Nova. Would you prefer a last ride match?
Fuck, I don't know.
Or should we flip it again?
Is there any way you can still, what was I going to say? Is there a way you can combine the two, like, somehow?
They could be hog-tied to a hearse, possibly. I don't know.
Because I'm just like...
Okay, that works.
And I'm just like... Because I just feel like that would still be really cool. Because it's got the bike part at the front, so it's still similar to what Kai wants, but then it's got your bit as well. Because I'm like, I just like both.
They both...
Or you just can flip. It's up to you guys.
Because I'm like, they can both rock up on their respective bikes, and then the winner gets to drive away with the motorbike style hearse with the other hog tied to the... I don't know. Do you want to flip for a Kai, or do you want to just...
I'm actually down for a hog tie to the hearse match.
And still cinematic and everything.
So it's a last ride match, essentially, but instead of being thrown in the hearse, they've got to be hog-tied to the hearse.
Yeah, I actually dig it.
Okay, so a last ride hog tie match. That's a fucking mouthful. Last ride. That's some good shit, pal. Last ride hog tie match. Oh, sweet mother of God. Again, I would love to see this in some sort of AI or like cartoon style animation. Like the Marvel What If series. Okay. Alright, so to recap now. Our official card, ladies and gentlemen. On the pre-show, we have Jade Cargill versus Storm in an Eye of the Storm cinematic style matchup. We have Rey Mysterio versus Silver Surfer in a mask versus board match. Mask versus board. I can spell as we realised before when Nova was trying to read out the rules. We have on the opening card, the main card, is just a plain one-on-one matchup between Joe Hendry and Captain America. We have Sandman versus Sandman in a sand trap death match. Seth Rollins versus Deadpool in a street fight. Brock Lesnar versus Beast in a street fight. McMahon versus Stark in a money bags ladder match. Spider-Man versus Ricochet in a, I'll actually write Lucha in front of that, in a Lucha Lumberjack match. Undertaker versus Ghost Rider in a last ride hog tie match. And then, of course, we have the Survivor Series tag team matchup with Mae Young, Daniel Bryan, Trish Adora, and Dusty Rhodes versus Uncle Ben, Moon Knight, Professor X, and Wolverine. What a mix of characters we've got in that main event. So, with that being said, now I've got to try and find the matches in the order that they've been made now, because I did the votes just in the order that we made them. Okay, so Jade versus Storm. Kai, who is your vote for that
I think it's
matchup?
just a draw.
A draw?
Yeah.
Well, that fucks me, because it's already at 3-3 for the voting, so we're going to make it 4-4 now for Kai.
You know who loves draw? Sean.
Okay. Nova pick someone.
Okay, I picked Storm.
Storm.
Yes.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to say Jade just to make it 6-6. Make it a draw.
Oh.
So it is a draw. So, both Kai and Sean get their draw.
Wait, hang on, wait, no. No, hang on, wait. It was 3-3. Kai makes it 4-4 because it's a draw. You said Storm.
Yep.
So does that make it 5-4?
Oh, you fuck it.
So if I pick both, does that make it 6-5?
What? I'm confused. I've had too much sugar. My brain can't.
No, so it was
can't
already
work.
a draw. It was
Yes.
3-3 with the listener votes.
3-3, 4-4 with
Kai
Kai.
says it's a draw, so that's 4-4.
I
You said
picked one
Storm,
that's 5.
so that makes it 5-4. So if I say it's a draw, that's technically still a point for both, so Storm still wins.
Yeah, Storm still wins, I think.
Should we flip a coin?
Yeah.
Should we flip a coin for Storm winning or having it a draw?
Can if you want, but I'm not fucking being a part of
Do you
this.
want to call it?
Because me and this freaking app, we're gonna beef.
Okay, Kai, call it for a draw. You can call it for a draw.
No, I have Storm win.
Now have Storm win? Okay.
I was gonna say because otherwise we need Kai as the referee because between me and this fucking app.
Don't put me as a referee. I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, but you know, when the when the person that has the microphone tells the referee to go home early without giving a reason, and then everyone gets mad. Because the referee got in the way for one spot in a triple threat, mind you, in a 16-foot fucking ring. 16 foot actually isn't that big when there's more than two people in a ring, especially with the referee as it is. Anyway, your winner. Still, fuck those guys, honestly.
Yeah, right to the moon.
Okay, so your winner of the first match is Storm. She wins the Eye of the Storm cinematic. There's Jade Cargill just float away in a tornado or some shit. Like,
That's probably how she ended up on the windshield of the car.
see, I don't think Nova's actually seen that because she didn't read. I don't think she read the results from SmackDown yesterday as we record this.
No.
Full context, we're recording this on Sunday the 24th, so it's 6 days before it airs. So there's going to be SmackDown just happened yesterday. We don't currently have access to KO or Binge. We're hoping to get Binge back on payday before Survivor Series. So there'll be an episode of SmackDown. This will actually drop the same time as the SmackDown before Survivor Series is airing. So there may be changes to the card because of the attack on Storm. But yeah, and fuck me. Because of the attack on Jade, my God, my brain.
I sent the heel turn.
But yeah, Jade was attacked on SmackDown without revealing who it is, and me and Kai both think it's going to be revealed as Bianca down the line with a heel turn. But
Could be,
we'll get into that with the
I
Survivor
feel like
Series
it's going to be.
predictions.
I feel like it's going to be a Triple H and Shawn Michaels style, where it shows like Hunter assaulting Shawn in the parking lot by the security cameras.
Someone gets hold of the footage miraculously. Okay, Mysterio versus Silver Surfer in a mask versus surfboard match. Who have we got?
I got Ray.
I got Ray as well.
Okay, now let me find the votes. Okay, so this match was already 6 votes to 0, as per the listeners.
Oh.
with your vote and your vote, that is 8-0.
Oh, shit.
For the sake of it,
Poor Surfer.
for the sake of it, I'm going to say here's one vote for Silver Surfer.
So I actually haven't looked at what you sent me. I was like, I don't want to know. So I have no idea.
So you know what? Your votes, with 8 votes to 1, and retaining his mask but taking Silver Surfer's surfboard, is Ray. So look at that, Mrs Crossfire. You were all upset that we put Ray on the pre-show, and he's just absolutely. I've literally just given Silver Surfer a pity vote here because on paper I was going to vote for Ray, but man, it would have been 9 votes to 0 to Rey Mysterio.
I'll have to send this to you because this is an ADHD thing. Just derailing everything. We have to show Kye that's the coffin motorcycle, like hearse kind of thing. Because I keep putting hearse, like motorcycle hearse, and it just gives me motorcycles. But I'm like, gives me Tron vibes.
We'll have to send. Well, I might even post a photo of that on the Court and Conversation.
It randomly gives me Tron vibes.
Keep that, and we'll post it on the Court and Conversation page for like a sneak preview. But I would have preferred the hearse to be on the back. It's a motorbike, but it's got like a platform on the front of it. So the person that's riding it is technically looking at the coffin while they're riding, which is weird. kind of morbid. But hey, anyway,
yeah.
Nova's just playing with AI while doing this interview. Yeah, while doing this episode, just trying to get a motorbike hearse. My God. But Rey Mysterio just fucking landslide, just completely bodies the Silver Surfer. That's one that I was expecting to be pretty close, to be honest. But hey, your opening match, Joe Hendry versus Captain America. Who did you have, Kye?
Joe Hendry.
Who did you have for this, Nova?
I actually had Hendry as well.
See, I couldn't go past that. I had to go for Joe Hendry as well. So that means that, once again, your votes 8-1, Joe Hendry defeats Captain America.
Because we all believe in Joe Hendry.
Do you think Captain America believes in Joe Hendry?
I think that's the problem. He's
I
just
don't think so.
That's the crux of Captain America hailing Hydra, is that he gets bodied by fucking... Okay. Sandman versus Sandman. Who is your vote for this, Kye?
I had Sandman.
Same. I had Sandman as well. That's a coincidence.
Sandman the wrestler or Sandman the Marvel character, Kye?
The Marvel character.
Marvel character, okay.
I had Marvel as well.
Ooh. Yo.
Yeah.
That takes it to 4-4.
Ooh, you did the starting vote.
I'm going to say, you know, I literally fantasy booked it when we were discussing the thing as if the Marvel Sandman won because of the stipulation. But I'm just going to say fuck y'all. And I'm going to say Sandman the wrestler wins.
Well, that's some bullshit.
So your winner, 5 votes to 4. Sandman the wrestler. Sandman, in brackets, wrestler. So we can get
to be fair, though, Sandman the wrestler was pretty badass. I reckon he'd probably drop Flint Marco.
Imagine if we just had like a full-on like Marvel-esque moment where like he's looking for his like Singapore cane in the sand, and then it comes to him like it's Thor's hammer, where it's like, yeah. Holy shit, that is cool. We have to like send like all of these to Kye / put them on the Court and Conversation page. Okay, so Seth Rollins versus Deadpool. Who is your winner for that?
I didn't write a winner down. Whoops.
Okay.
I'm going to say Deadpool.
Yeah, I had Deadpool as well.
Okay, well, that currently takes this match. Fucking hell. That takes this match 7-1.
Okay.
So I'm also just going to say Deadpool because Seth's not getting a pity vote. I already did my pity vote for Surfer. So with 8 votes to 1, after just being thrown on this card apparently to make Deadpool look good, gets absolutely bodied by Deadpool. Your winner is Deadpool. Okay, Brock Lesnar versus Beast. Kye.
I had Lesnar winning this one.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So did I.
Okay, so once again, this takes it to 4-4. You know what, Nova, for the sake of the argument here, if I say beast, would you like to call heads or tails?
Would I?
Heads or tails, Nova Lee?
Fucking heads, I don't know. You watch it be fucking tails.
That's
at this
one
point.
tails. There's a head. Oh, God.
It's gonna be tails.
Oh, Nova! Ah!
What?
Nova Lee finally wins it. The streak is over. Why did you press the laughter button?
Because it was funny. I actually finally got one.
The streak is over. Nova Lee conquers the coin. Brock Lesnar defeats Beast 5-4.
Yay!
Suplex City, bitch.
Again, I'd like to point out that we're like just under an hour right now, and we're like almost at the end of this, so that'll be good because we can kind of rant a little bit with the Survivor Series. So your winner is Brock Lesnar. Okay, Mr. McMahon versus Tony Stark in a Moneybags ladder match. Kai, what is your... My God, this one was a bit of a landslide too. Kai, who was your vote?
Vinnie Mac.
Okay, who is your vote, Nova?
Finally, we actually have a difference of opinion, and I went Stark.
Okay, my vote was also Vinnie Mac, just because in a wrestling setting, you know, he's going to pull
Vince would put himself over.
going to pull some shenanigans, reveal the McMahon suit, which was an idea I had before Nova said it, so that's hilarious. But unfortunately, that means with 6 votes to 3, your winner is Tony Stark.
Woo!
So,
God damn it!
yay, Nova's finally...
Nearly Queen sleeping? Clean sweeping this bitch.
Winner is Tony Stark. I haven't even been keeping a tally of whose like votes have been winning more, so there's that as well.
Okay, so that's what you got.
Apparently that's what me and Kai have. No chance. Okay, so Ricochet versus Spider-Man 2099. His name is Miguel, fun fact. What is your vote, Kai?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man? What is your vote? Nova Lee.
Spidey as well, yeah.
Spidey as well. See, I went Ricochet just because everyone was expecting me to vote Spider-Man. But you know what that does? For some reason this match had extra votes on it. I don't know why. This match is at 4-3 currently.
Oh, okay, right.
So with your vote and Kai's vote, that makes it 5-5. But if I say Ricochet, that makes it a draw, which wasn't even my fucking intention. It was just that I chose Ricochet, and I already had this in my mind just because people were expecting me to say Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So what do we do here?
Do we just have it
Do
in a
we
draw?
flip another coin for you guys to have Spider-Man, or do we make it a draw?
I'm happy with the draw, but it's up to Kai.
I mean, it's a lumberjack match. They can all just come in and fuck shit up.
Yeah.
We can end it in a draw.
Okay, this match
Is a draw.
And unfortunately, because I'm like using my phone, I'm not tallying the final votes, including our votes. So when I read them at the end, it's just going to be out of whack because it's going to say 4-3, but it's somehow a draw. Logic. Okay, so the next match is then Undertaker versus Ghost Rider in a last ride hog tie match. My God. This, you know, again, this is something that I got to say. What is your vote for this guy? Because this currently, as it stands, is a is a draw.
I got Taker.
Taker.
I had Taker too.
Okay. I also said Taker, so that's that's a fucking landslide. So Ghost Rider loses 6-3.
It's American Badass Taker. You can't argue with that. That was a different level of Taker.
So your winner is Undertaker. I just want to know, why was there randomly one extra, like, because there's been 6 votes on all of these, plus the random emojis that Kai reacted to just to, like, boost the pages, like, you know, like interaction, I guess. But yeah, there's
Analytics.
Yeah, that's the word. But like for some reason, there's been an extra vote for Ricochet on the podcast. I have to go back and have a look at who that was.
You're fired.
Fucking fucks. Anyway, so for the main event, Team Wrestlers versus Team Marvel. This is not quite a landslide, but there is currently a decisive victor. Our votes could possibly change that, but Kye, Team Wrestlers versus Team Marvel, who are you going with?
I got Team Marvel winning.
Marvel too.
Okay, well, I was going to say Team Wrestlers, but with 6 votes to 3 then, including our votes, your winners of this Survivor Series elimination match is Team Marvel. So, whoop, I pressed the wrong button. My God.
If it also helps, I had Uncle Ben picking.
Oh my God. Stop.
Sorry.
Okay, your winner. The fact that we're just on an hour as we record this, by the time we trim out that little bit of like small talk before we started, plus the intro and outro, be more than that. But I'd like to point out that with a 3-person team, we have completely booked and got the victors to a full card in an hour.
That's pretty crazy.
Man, maybe that's a secret. Maybe Nova needs to be on these properly to keep these flowing and stop me and Kye from just ranting about stupid shit. Okay, Team Marvel.
I'd just like to say there's only one that I lost out of that.
Okay, so let's start with the official order. We had, I'm going to go all the way back to the start now. On the pre-show, match number 1 in an Eye of the Storm cinematic matchup. Your winner was Storm. Your second pre-show was Rey Mysterio versus Silver Surfer in a mask versus surfboard match. Your winner was Rey Mysterio. In the opening contest of the main card, Joe Hendry defeats Captain America. Sandman the Wrestler, as per my vote, defeats Sandman the Marvel character by 1 vote. That's pretty cool. In a sandbox. In a sandbox death match. Seth Rollins gets absolutely bodied by Deadpool in a street fight. Brock Lesnar defeats Beast in a second street fight. It must be like Power Hour or some fight where it was just, or something where it was just like, here's 2 back-to-back hardcore matches, have fun. And then Tony Stark, much to the chagrin of myself and Kye, Miss Nova Lee's happy with this one. Tony Stark defeats Vince McMahon in a Moneybags ladder match. Our Lucha Lumberjack match comes to a draw, so shout out to Sean in Canada, who actually didn't vote on this one, so I don't think he actually had data while the voting was active for this one, but he always votes for a draw on at least one match.
Yeah, that's why I was making
the one thing that he didn't vote on goes to...
He's gonna be, this is fucking rigged.
A draw. We've got a draw here, which makes sense, though, because lumberjack matches in real life, especially modern lumberjack matches, unfortunately, it's a bit predictable just with the way they're booked, but it almost always goes to all the lumberjacks run in and everyone hits their finisher, and now it's a no contest because there's 30 people brawling and the referee can't handle it. And I guess even here with the Marvel Sparkle Circles, there's not enough members of the Time Agency and fucking whatever else in the Avengers and to stop this, cosmic battle. But it comes to a draw. And then Undertaker defeats Ghost Rider in... I honestly, again, very, very, very close matchup. Coming into this, it was 3 each with the 6 fan listener votes. So I'm very happy that one wasn't a landslide. Almost became a landslide, but luckily it didn't. He only lost by, I think it was 1 vote, I think. Or 2 votes, actually, Taker. So that's not too bad. Becomes 6-3. And then the main event, Team Marvel beats Team Wrestlers, also 6-3. So, although not all squash matches, all but one ended up being rather decisive once we factored in our votes. So that's pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Because Stark and McMahon was 5-1, but then me and Kye both said Vinnie Mac, and it kind of started to make a comeback. And then Nova basically just said, "Fuck y'all."
I'm here to start some chaos.
So with that being said, like that's I'm shocked at how quick we've actually gotten through that. But I honestly, I'd watch this. I'd watch it.
Yeah, I would too.
Some of these matches do give me ideas for matches of the week as well, because I'm like, maybe I should do a War Games match or a Survivor Series match, but we'll see how we go, actually. Actually, I think one of the matches that I'm thinking of may have taken... I don't know if it was Armageddon or Survivor Series. It may have actually been Survivor Series. I don't know. Oh, that's just a fucking sidebar of me trying to edit live on air. With that being said, currently as we record this, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming into Survivor Series 2024. As I said, hopefully Nova and I can get binge back on payday and we can watch Survivor Series. But this will drop on the SmackDown before Survivor Series. So there's only 3 matches that have been locked in as we record this. I'm assuming they've usually had 5 matches on the pay-per-views most recently, and given that there's 2 War Games matches, I'm imagining they're not going to have more than that. I'm assuming it's probably only going to be the 5. So with that being said, do we have just predictions of what the remaining matches are going to be? Because I'm assuming Cody versus Kevin Owens will probably be one.
That'll probably be I think that will have a stipulation for that one.
Because you can't not have the WWE title on the show, surely.
I think KO and Cody are going to fight in a street fight.
Yeah, it seems to be looking that way. Possibly even a triple threat with Randy just to throw a spanner in the wrench. But
I think Randy's going to show up and just RKO KO out of nowhere. He's going to get that huge pop.
You reckon Cody versus KO will be added to the card?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like it, I reckon.
The other one is a toss-up because there's currently a feud with Bron Breakker and Sheamus going on for the IC title. But then there's currently this little thing with Santos and Legado with LA Knight as well, which could possibly end on the card. I'm leaning more towards Sheamus and Bron potentially being on the pay-per-view, but I don't know.
If so, would it be too soon for Breakker to lose the title again, just to Sheamus?
I honestly think it's fine. What's your take on this, Nova? Nova's quickly ducking to the ladies' room, but
so actually, what do you want me
do you which one do you think's more likely to be added? Bron Breakker versus Sheamus or LA Knight versus Santos?
See, I'm leaning more towards LA Knight versus Santos.
Which
Yeah.
does make sense because the US title hasn't really been featured on pay-per-view or PLE
In a bit.
recently, so... And the IC title has been in quite a lot of bang-on, pun not intended, main events on Raw, so... Alright. So we're going to... Me and Kye are saying...
Just keep going.
Alright, well I'm just going to pause the recording here then. Okay, we have resumed our recording. Nova leaves back from the ladies' room. I think the consensus was Nova thought that LA Knight was going to be on the pay-per-view. I was leaning more towards Sheamus, but I kind of hope it's LA Knight just because, he won the Slim Jim Battle Royal and, become, the official spokesperson in that, which is, really cool and, he got a lot of money for the advertising and all that, but hasn't really done much, since beating Logan Paul at this year's SummerSlam, even though it was for the title, which is a shame, but... Yeah, I think it's going to be either one or the other. I don't think they're both going to be on there.
Yeah.
Because if they do, they're going to be very short matches. But as far as the actual matches that they have locked in, we have a War Games match. Now, Nova, you said you wanted me to just say yours because they were written down. But you can say them if you want.
I can't quite remember.
Okay.
So that's probably the best
This is why we write them down because
I had
of
too much
ADHD.
sugar.
But Kye, we have... if this match isn't the main event of the whole event, there's something wrong. We've got Roman Reigns,
Oh, yes.
the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, Sami Zayn, or Sammy Uso. He's actually just finally got the Sammy Uso shirt. It's probably 2 years too late, but they've released it. It's doing good. And the final member just released yesterday as we record this was CM Punk.
FC Phil.
Not the biggest fan of CM Punk wrestle, as I've discussed. I'm still a massive CM Punk fucking merch, Pepsi Phil. Still a massive Mark. I'll buy all his merch, is what I was trying to say. Still a massive Punk merch. Still a massive Punk Mark in terms of me wanting to buy his merch. But in terms of seeing him wrestle, I'm not fussed either way. I did really enjoy the storytelling with the Hell in a Cell match with Drew. That was awesome. Nova really enjoyed that as well. And Uncle Dave actually gave him 5 stars, so it's about time he fucking spoke some sense, but that's neither here nor there. But I really enjoy this. Obviously, we haven't actually watched it properly, Nova. We've just kind of skimmed through socials and read the results. But Paul Heyman came back to apparently a massive pop, which, as you expect,
was loud.
Yeah.
Being a Heyman guy, I'm still a little bit sad because being in Canada, my prediction, even just for a one-off, was Brock Lesnar. And I thought they were going to wait until the night of for a bigger reaction. But hey, Punk's in the match. That's cool. They're facing Solo Sikoa, the current tribal chief, or fake tribal chief, depending on who you ask.
He's not the tribal chief. Roman's the only tribal chief.
Jacob Fatu, the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and the newest edition of the Bloodline, which did seem kind of random, but I fuck with it, Bronson Reed. 100% here for it. I thought that Seth was going to be added to the match just because of his feud with Bronson, which would have been the only way for Seth to make sense, given the history of Roman. But no, they've given us a little swerve here. But who's your prediction for this match, Kai?
I got the original Bloodline winning.
Do you see an appearance by The Rock?
Yes. I also see a heel turn coming from either Jacob Fatu or Tama Tonga.
I would do. It would not surprise me if we had not even aligning himself with Roman either, but like if Jacob was to kind of do something to Solo and then just be like, that's it, I'm out. Like, he's not aligned with Roman, but he also just doesn't want to be Solo's bitch.
I feel like Jacob's kind of like a spy for Roman, if that makes sense.
So I could 100% still see that happening, but I can also see him. For me, I feel like it'd be more likely for him to just be like, "Fuck this, I'm out." Like, because Jacob Fatu, like, for those that have followed him in MLW and the Indies and stuff, like, he has always been an absolute freak in the things that he can do. And like, I feel like as a single star, and Shawn Michaels and Triple H have both given their vote of confidence on him, he could easily be in a Roman Reigns type. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be as big of a star as Roman, because Roman literally was on another level. But Jacob Fatu could quite easily be in that WrestleMania main event kind of area, and I don't think anyone would complain about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
I remember when it was first announced he was signed, like, I swear it was like close to a year of rumours saying that he was coming in, and Nova was actually getting a little bit pissed off, and I was as well, because like they kept bringing in like new members of the Bloodline, and they kept taking different arcs, and we were just like, we honestly thought that WrestleMania would have been the perfect spot for like Jacob during that, like that Rock tag match and that Cody, like that would have been so cool, man. But didn't happen. But okay, so you're saying original Bloodline wins with a Rock appearance and a possible Jacob Fatu turn on Solo. I almost said on Roman now. Possible Jacob Fatu turn on Solo. Roman said, Roman said Nova's going to win. Nova said Roman's going to win. Team Roman / OTC with a possible Rock appearance. I say Team Roman, definite Rock appearance, and I'm still saying a possible Brock Lesnar appearance as a one-off, because even though, you know, the current rendition of the Bloodline have all of their members in this match, there has been, again, it's mainly rumoured, but there is a good group of Samoan and Islander type talent that are part of that Bloodline that have been rumoured to come in and could be possible. So I'm like, if for whatever reason people come in that aren't in the match, I can see, just even if it's just a one-off thing, being a Heyman guy, Brock and Roman have that little moment of respect, dare I say acknowledgement, and like that's it, just for one night only. After all the years of Brock and Roman battling, is this little thing, because the Bloodline have fucked Brock over in the past. As I said, it's in Canada. Brock's a Heyman guy, I can see it. But no, I think definite Rock appearance. I'm still holding on hope for that possible Brock Lesnar appearance. And I wouldn't rule out Seth Rollins possibly being in this match either. I could see the Bloodline taking out Sami Zayn, personally, or even CM Punk, because there's been rumours of, is Punk actually cleared enough to be in this match, and da-da-da-da. Would be a great way to get heel heat, possibly move over to a feud for Punk when he is back with Solo or someone, but I don't know, it's all speculation, but I think we're all in favour. It's a unanimous team OTC of acknowledging Roman Reigns in this moment.
We the ones. Okay, well,
I'm putting my ones to the sky right now.
Putting new ones to the sky, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, we all do, all three of us. Women's War Games. We have Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, pending due to the attack last week on SmackDown as we record this. Naomi, yuck, and Io Sky versus Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Sorry, I almost said Nia Jax. Women's World Champion Liv Morgan, WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax, Miss Money in the Bank Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, and Raquel Rodriguez. Who is your prediction for this match, Kai?
I think Jade's going to be taken out. She's going to be replaced with Charlotte Flair because there's been rumors that Charlotte comes back.
That almost every big event, they're like, she's training. And I think, as much as I'm not a big fan of Charlotte, she almost has to come back at one of the big four.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be this one. Because she dropped a video on her Twitter or Instagram the other day. It looked like she was teasing a return, so I think, it's almost been like 9 months since she tore her ACL, so it's almost about time that she's back.
See, I don't know if they're going to replace Jade, because I feel like having her come in semi-injured will go towards her being the underdog babyface and try and gain some sympathy to just give her character a new dimension. But if they were going to replace her, I actually think it'd be Becky, because her contract's been up for a while, but they've still got her on the merch deal. They're still pumping her out in like Supercard and 2K, and they're consistently featuring her like on social media and stuff as part of the family, even though her wrestling contract is up. So it wouldn't surprise me if Becky has re-signed a new deal and takes that place, because she's had issues with Liv. Obviously, her and Nia go back. Nia, whether accidental or not basically created the man version of Becky Lynch when she broke her nose in, was it 2018 or 2017? And that was actually heading into a Survivor Series pay-per-view, so the storyline's there. But overall, Nova and I actually had the exact same prediction in this. So who's your actual prediction for the winner of the match, Kai? After that,
I think Bianca's team is going to win. I think that's the obvious choice. But I also think that Tiffany's going to cash in.
So we're still semi on the same wavelength. Me and Nova both agree the heels somehow squeak out a win, but then with everyone down and out, Tiffy finally cashes in, but she cashes in on Nia for that monster babyface turn.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're all still on a very, very similar wavelength here regardless. But no, I think the heels win. But I think regardless of the outcome, I love that we're all in agreement that, because surely the amount of times that they've teased it now, you'd almost have to be silly to not do it on this big stage on pay-per-view.
Yeah. I personally thought it was going to be a crown jewel, but I guess I was wrong about that.
This is a weird one, right? Because like the Bloodline storyline has obviously been going on for ages, but they have done a really great job, to their credit, in this match of intertwining so many different women's storylines into the same thing. There's about 3 or 4 different storylines coming into this matchup, which is great, and it makes sense for War Games. But at the same time, it was almost like they did it just to tick a box, to be like, oh, it's the War Games pay-per-view, and we've got to have a women's match, so it's these ones. To me, it makes sense, but it still didn't have the big build, if that makes sense. But I feel like if you have this match, in theory, as the opener of the card, have these women go to war, you kind of justify it with that Tiffy cash in at the end, whether it's Liv or whether it's Nia. I think it's going to be Nia. I think it's going to be a monster babyface. Because, think about back to the Elimination Chamber in Perth, and Tiffy time was really over, and the first few weeks back in the States after that, they were very heavy on the Tiffy time train. And even now, she's still getting cheered, but she's more of a heel, but the only reason she's a heel is literally just by the association with Nia. I think the moment she turns on Nia, she will be a massive, massive babyface, will Tiffy, I think.
Yeah, agreed.
So Gunther versus Damian Priest, Kai.
Oh, see, I want Gunther to retain, but I also want Priest to win. I'm undecided on this one.
So
I kind of want to see another Priest World Champion run, but at the same time, I want to see Gunther hold that world title longer than he held the IC title.
See, I'm really loving the. I also, as a side note, did you see the fuck up? I think I sent it to you, where the original banner for this was a picture of Gunther holding the IC title.
Yeah.
But the reason I bring that up is because I love that Gunther, though, went from being this dominant Intercontinental Champion to he's kind of scared of Priest. Because he knows, in a kayfabe sense, if it hadn't have been for Finn turning on Priest back at SummerSlam, Priest was about to beat Gunther. So they kind of got this character evolution of, yeah, look, Sammy was the first person to beat him on the main roster and da-da-da-da. Gunther got that win back and, okay, he's on a roll and no one can stop him. Okay, but who's that other guy who you have beat but you only beat him because ABC? And the transition of being this dominant, it reminded me almost of Triple H in a way when he was doing that Reign of Terror, where he's kind of had that flip-flop where he was running, and he was doing really good, and he's doing really good, and he's this like, no one can stop him. And then along came Batista and Evolution, and they turned on Evolution, and Batista became that one wrinkle, and Triple H was actually scared of Batista and was trying to back away from the... Like, once the fight was on, he'd scratch and claw and do everything he could to win the fight, but he'd do everything he could to avoid the fight at the same time. Like, and I feel like this is what's going to happen with Gunther, where he's been backing away from Priest the last few weeks. Like, when that bell rings, he's obviously going to come at him and he's going to give him all the strikes and the chops, and it's going to be meaty men. But he's going to do everything he can to avoid it until he has to. And I really just enjoy that character progression of just dominant IC champ to kind of chicken shit world champ.
Yeah.
So Nova's prediction was Gunther retains with a definite Judgment Day interference.
Yeah.
I said Gunther retains with a possible Judgment Day interference. So it could go either way, but I think as much as I love Priest and as much as he definitely proved he could hang, I think Gunther holds this a little bit longer. Even if he doesn't have the long run, but he has to lose it surely at either Rumble or Mania.
Yeah, I reckon he'll lose it at Rumble.
Like, I think that'd... Because a lot of people currently are fantasy booking Gunther versus John Cena, which I'm like, that's all well and good, but Gunther's got to get to Mania first, and what else do they have planned? And yeah, I think Gunther retains as much as I love Priest. But yeah, I think the other two matches, I think it's definitely going to be KO versus Cody, as we said, in some sort of no DQ-ish match. Because it's got to be done in a way where Orton can cost KO the match to keep their feud going a little bit longer as well. Yeah.
That's why the RKO comes out of nowhere.
I mean, we could just do the obligatory ref bump, but I feel like if my specific prediction for the War Games match happens, that's where the ref bump comes in, because you've got to open the cage to bring a new ref in, and then more people run in while the doors are open, and chaos ensues. But no, I think definitely Cody versus KO will be added, and me and Kai kind of thought, I almost said Gunther, Bron Breakker versus Sheamus. Miss Nova Lee thinks LA Knight, but yeah, I'm really excited. What match are you most excited for, Kai, for this card?
Personally, I'm more excited for the men's War Games.
Honestly,
it's going to probably be the best.
Honestly, I'm the same. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, how long can you draw this bloodline thing out? But it seems like every time they're about to wrap it up, they find a way to intertwine something, and like there's all the memes of, hey, it's 2036 and the bloodline is still going because of all the family members and descendants they have coming through the ranks. But they've been doing this for the better part of, 4 years now or 3 years? Like, this has been awesome every step of the way to me. Like, if people don't like it, they don't like it. It's the old flavors of ice cream thing. But they've done a really good job of intertwining this. And I dare say, I honestly, whether he's going to be the final boss or whether he's going to be in Roman's corner, I think The Rock's going to show up surely. He can't do like he did at Bad Blood, where he just came out and went, I'm watching you, and then walked out. Like, what was that shit? Like, honestly, what was that?
I think The Rock was just trying to tell him something. Like, because it happened like shortly after Roman and Cody teamed up, so it was obviously The Rock was pissed at Roman
it's like, is he giving him like a threat or a talking to because he teamed with Cody, or was it something else, or it's
I think it was a threat.
Solo? Like, there's so many ways they can go with it. I
personally feel that The Rock is the one controlling Solo's bloodline.
I genuinely think this could lead to, and I'm still a little bit sad that we haven't got it, but I genuinely think, and they've done a genius way of doing this, because Roman is organically a babyface now, and for how long did Vinnie Mac try to get Roman as a proper face? And there was moments there where it worked, but then it just kind of dropped off again because it was almost a Super Cena situation. But I think at this point, if you give us heel final boss Rock versus a babyface OTC Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, I think it'll finally work. Like, there's still going to be some cheering The Rock because it's The Rock, but The Rock, being an actor, has always played that line very well. Like, kayfabe's been fucked because he's broken it down. But when they did that whole Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth thing, while the cameras were rolling, we all rolled with it. Like, we booed The Rock because it was fun to boo The Rock, and he played that role, and I feel like he can play that role really well. And I kind of hope he's technically like Solo's leader or something. But I think The Rock, he has to. And look, if The Rock doesn't show up, I'm not going to sit here and be one of those neckbeards that goes, "This is the worst show I've ever watched, all because this one thing didn't happen." But it's the perfect setting for it to happen when all of these things are in motion.
Yeah.
So I think we're all in agreement there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So I'm just going to, what I'll do is, I think I'll quickly go up and recap our results, and then I'll recap our predictions, and then we can wrap this up. We've done this in just on an hour and a half, which is pretty awesome, honestly.
Yeah, no, that's pretty
We've
good.
gone from being ridiculous to just ranting about Survivor Series, but hey, that was the whole point. So, we're going to go all the way back to match number 1. And we had Jade Cargill versus Storm in an Eye of the Storm cinematic match at the suggestion of both Kye and Nova Lee, and they wrapped it up into one. Your winner was Storm by 1 vote. Your pre-show match number 2 was Rey Mysterio versus Silver Surfer. Mask versus Surfboard, your winner, in a quite decisive fashion, sadly, was Rey Mysterio. Opening match, Joe Hendry versus Captain America. Joe Hendry that was a landslide to Captain America. Sorry, I guess Captain America doesn't believe. Sandman versus Sandman, your winner was Sandman. Specifically the wrestler Sandman. In the Sand Trap death match. Seth and Deadpool. Deadpool absolutely squashes Seth Rollins in a street fight. Lesnar and Beast go toe-to-toe, but Lesnar just scrapes out the win in a street fight. A Moneybags ladder match between Vince McMahon and Tony Stark. Your winner, Mrs Crossfire's pick, beats out mine and Kye's pick of Vince McMahon.
Woo!
Tony Stark gets the win. Ricochet and Spider-Man 29.9 in a Lucha Lumberjack match. I still say someone's got to book that because the idea is sound. Hopefully it has a more climactic ending than this, though. This was very anticlimactic. Ended in a draw. And then a last ride hog tie death match. Or not death match, sorry. A last ride hog tie match. The Undertaker beats Ghost Rider. We have showed Kye the AI photos that Nova generated while we were recording this. We'll post them on the podcast socials at some point. The winner was the Undertaker, and then Team Marvel, not quite a squash, but still very much decisively, almost a landslide. Team Marvel defeats Team Wrestlers in a Survivor Series style tag match. And then just to recap our predictions, Kye, myself, and Nova all say Team Roman. Me and Kye both say definite Rock appearance. Nova was saying possible Rock appearance. I think it's more just doesn't want to get our hopes up if the Rock doesn't.
Because I want him to show up, but I'm like, yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
No, I just imagine Nova's got some sort of burner account on X. It's like at Rockstan something.
Yeah.
Worst show ever.
My mum's his stance, so.
Both our mums are obsessed with The Rock. Okay, so the female war games, we have Rhea, Bianca, Jade Cargill, pending. Naomi and Io Sky versus Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, Candice LeRae, and Raquel. Kye had the babyface team winning, but with Tiffany cashing in afterwards. Nova and I both had the heel team winning, but also Tiffany still cashing in afterwards. So all three of us are saying this is definite, like it's gonna has to happen. The cash in. And then Nova and I have both said Gunther. Nova says definite Judgment Day interference. I said possible. Kye's just wants to see big meaty men slapping meaties on the fence here, and I can't blame him because I'd be happy either way.
You just don't want to get your hopes up, or
not really. There's been rumours that Carlito might be getting removed from the Judgment Day, and I'm all for that because fuck that guy.
Hey,
that's the face of him not being cool.
That's not cool. Leave Carlito alone just because he's got an afro.
Before we end this conversation, I want to get your opinion on this, Nova.
Oh, God.
There was a line recently with Kairi Sane and Io Sky, and obviously both are Japanese, and they were talking, and they did a thing where Carlito basically thought they were hot, blah, 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 and as a joke, as a throwaway line says, I've got to learn Chinese. They have now edited this line out. They have issued an official apology. They've fucking...
Oh,
the people in question in Io Sky and Kairi Sane apparently thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, they were literally laughing off camera.
What's your take on this, Nova? Like, is that too on the nose in terms of racism, or...
I don't feel like... As long as they were comfortable with it, I think it's fine.
Because I feel like it's... this is where everything comes in, and I don't want to go on a rant on cancel culture, but I want your opinion, because Kai and I have talked about this. I haven't actually asked you about this. Like, you're a female, you're very strong-powered, you'd probably be considered a feminist, not a feminazi, thanks God. But you would be more on the left-wing side of things, right? Like, not per se being PC, but, like... Obviously, if he was to say these effing Japs or whatever... like they, that would be like, holy shit, bro, like where'd that come from? But in the context of, like I think as a throwaway line, do you see an issue with this?
I think as a throwaway line, it's fine as long as they're comfortable with it.
Yeah, like if this was a case where Vince, where Vince made them feel uncomfortable, like obviously Vince isn't in charge, but Vince has notoriously done racial stuff throughout the 80s to the 90s and like Vin, like with the Mickey James, like it's not racism, but the Mickey James body shaming thing, right? Yeah. Basically forcing that in the name calling and just those kind of angles where if they were pigeonholed into he's going to say this and you have to laugh it off, like that's kind of fucked up. But in this situation, Kai and I have been talking about this, and it's so like I thought it was funny. Yeah. I thought it was funny.
I'm looking at it from if it was a black person joke, like as in like Aboriginal, right? Me being Aboriginal, like, some jokes I find appropriate, some, like, that are throwaway ones, and some I don't think
But it's like the thing, right? Like, we just recently went and saw Dane Simpson, racist. Right? Logger's Own. Yeah. Very proud Indigenous man. But he will go out there and he'll make fun of a lot of the Indigenous stereotypes, and for the most part we laugh because being Indigenous people, we know that they're fucking true.
Yeah.
But again, it's all context. If someone on the street was like, hey, you black so-and-so... That's a completely different fucking situation.
Well, to bring up my white ex saying to me, and I don't think it's funny, but other people might, but I don't think it was funny. It was literally like, oh, now I can get land rights. Like, I'll marry you and then I can get land rights. I'm like, yeah, that's fucked. You can get fucked. Like, personally, I don't think that's funny.
See,
like,
but again, if you were to do that in like a stand-up comedian context, you could probably, because I'm just picturing Dane saying that because he makes jokes because his wife is white. In that situation, but again, different. Contextual. Yeah. If he's just out of nowhere going, oh, here's this joke, and you're like,
and then his family's going on about sniffing petrol and stuff. It's the whole situation is just fucked.
You know what? I love
just a bunch of whiteys.
I'm the whitest black man you'll ever meet, but I do like the smell of petrol. But if you were to sit here and be like, you're nothing but, there's a lot more to me than enjoying the smell of petrol.
So it's like that stuff I don't find funny. But other stuff, like, there's some of the, like, stuff that, like, Dane did. And it was awkward because Dane did a couple of Indian jokes and I thought they were funny. I'm sitting next to an Indian man. So I was kind of like, but he's laughing, so I'm laughing.
Again, it's all contextual and they're not...
I don't want to offend old mate. Like,
I just wanted Nova's opinion of this. Sorry, Kai, I just derailed it. But you and I have been talking about this and I forgot to tell you, Kai, or ask you about that. But it was yesterday I saw it that on... We don't have it, but on, like, Hulu and stuff, they get replays, but they're on, like, a I think it was literally like 3 or 4 weeks. It was almost a month ago anyway, because they were on a slight delay on whatever app it was in the US, right? On that, I think it's Hulu. But it's on like a 2 or 3 week delay. And yeah, they've edited out the audio, and the actual like segment ended with Carlito's face. They've edited it, so they've changed. Obviously, they've got 100 different camera angles. So the segment now ends on Adam Pearce's face instead, and da-da-da-da. But yeah, there was this really big uproar of how it's insensitive, and we thought they were past that because Vince is gone. We thought there'd be no more racism, and I was like, I didn't take it as racism. Some people, and if there's, I
feel that if their culture took it as racism, it's racism.
Yeah,
but if it's other people doing it on behalf of them, it's not.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, if there is like a very strong like Aboriginal man or woman out there that's like, oh, that's insensitive to my culture, then fair enough.
Yeah.
But given the context of these two, I almost said Indigenous because we're talking about it, 2 strong Japanese women going, ha ha.
But going back to Dane's joke, I thought it was funny because he gets actually racially profiled as a lot of people think he's Indian. So one of his jokes, it's hilarious, but one of his jokes is literally like, I'm chasing Dari's brother, not Curry's. And literally, I just love that. I absolutely love that. And I'm like, do you know how many black fellas I've had come up to me and go, oi, sis, can I have a lend of a fucking light oil? Do you have a Dari for me? Or like, you know.
It's look, the brothers and sisters like to smoke the cigarettes.
It's relatable. It's a relatable
And I love
joke.
that we just kind of somewhat heard Kye just like choke on his drink or whatever in the background there. But he's just like, yeah, brother, I chase Dari's, not Curry's. And I was just like in the background like, por qué no los dos? Because I'll take both. Like, I love a good fucking curry. And then I
said to him, I said, well, what about a fucking Devon fucking curry, mate? Like, we do love that Keen's curry powder, brother.
But no, I just derailed this, and Kye's like, what? But no, I just wanted Nova's opinion live on air, because I was like, me and Kye have been laughing about this, going, like, I'm not the biggest fan of Carlito, but the stuff they've been doing with him lately, like, I can't even remember who it was, someone walked in the room, I think it was Raquel, and he dropped the apple on the floor because like because they're both Spanish, right? So she's walked in and she's got like the fucking basically the bondage fucking attire on that she's been wearing, and she's walked in. And Carlito's just like the jaw drops, the apple hits the floor. They zoom in on the apple rolling away, and then same thing. Like he's just a horn dog, and he walks into the Adam Pearce's office, and like the girls are talking Japanese, and he's like, man, whew, like because like they are.
I gotta learn Chinese.
Yeah, like. And that's all it was, but I just wanted Nova's opinion on the podcast. Like,
yeah. I just feel like as long as they're not offended
they've just edited it out and they issued an apology, and again, like if I'm not saying if people that are offended by it aren't allowed to be offended, but I'm just saying that for the most part it's white people, and I say this as a white skinned man, it's white people that are getting offended on the behalf of other people, going, you can't find that funny, and I just was just like, hey, like is this too on the nose? But okay, I'm glad you're on the same page.
Yeah, I feel like as long as they're not offended or their culture's not offended, so like Japanese people aren't offended, I feel like it's not that big of a deal like that.
People seem to forget that wrestling's about character work as well, and Carlito's character is meant to be like some goofy dude who just says wacky shit.
And this is where I kind of like. I'll try and wrap this up quickly because I don't want to rant for too long, because like, you know, we're just over an hour and a half, which is really good for a Mark-A-Palooza episode. But this is where like when Paul Bearer passed away, right, and they did that whole thing of like the urn and his ashes were in the urn, and at the end of the day, his children gave that storyline a tick of approval. Yeah. But people were saying, oh, it's disrespectful because he died, but Paul Bearer didn't die. William Moody died, but Paul Bearer was a fictional character.
Yeah.
Whether people like it or not, and people can argue whether or not kayfabe is or isn't dead, I think it's skewed. I think within the realm of the show, you've got to suspend disbelief. But Carlito, the character, is, although it's an extension of the man himself, because that's the reason that's become a thing is in real life, the reason he didn't become a star when he was younger, he's almost become a parody of himself when he was younger. And he's been adamant about this, is he was a ladies' man. He was too busy using the fame that he got in the early 2000s to go around and, you know, smash bitches basically.
People's
right?
faces.
And that hindered his push in WWE, and he's had a couple of runs now. And now that, you know, even though he's settled down over the years, they've kind of made him a parody of himself of, hey, like, he's a ladies' man. Like, let's just make that his gimmick, in essentially. Yeah. But essentially, all of these people we're talking about are on a television show. It's all...
Yeah.
It's all make-believe. It's all And again, like we're past the day of fully scripted promos, which is great, but it's all in bullet points of Carlito walks into room or these two lovely ladies come on screen. It's literally like it's like a fucking screenplay. Like that's all it is. And I don't see why they have to be like, we would like to officially fucking apologize. Like,
there was no need to apologize for it. It was a insensitive, not insensitive. I shouldn't say that way. It was a joke.
In a way, the comment itself, if you were to isolate it, could be considered insensitive. But again, in the context of, here is this 30-second fucking segment on television.
Yeah, it's all the context.
It's blown up,
all,
and it's just I saw it this morning, and like saw all these, and again, wrestling fans arguing and everything, but I saw all these wrestling fans in the comments arguing about how it was racist and why it was racist. And again, if you are a Japanese descent and you have pride and you like, because obviously there is a big difference between Japan, China, Korea, fucking everything, like
there is,
Vietnam, Thailand. There's big differences. There is.
It's more that when you look at it deeper, there's bits to it that is racist, but I feel like in the context of this, it's not. Yeah, it's really hard to explain, but it's like you look at it, I do feel for them because a lot of the time, like I'm not overly, obviously, like I look generally white because my dad's got Irish in him, my mum is black.
That's why I say, I used to get made fun of because I don't look Indigenous, and now as I've gotten older, I've just started saying I'm the whitest black man.
Going back to Dane again, he gets racially profiled all the time.
As an Indian.
He's Indian. Mum does as well.
But yeah.
So it's kind of like, it's like we're all put under the same banner as Aboriginals and Indians are the same friggin' race, but it's not. But then you look at poor Asians and they've got all different ones, and everyone's like, oh, they look the same. That's fucking racist. That is. Yeah. Like, you know? Yeah.
But, like, as a throwaway thing, I think, yeah. So the consensus is we're in agreement that having it edited out and the apologies probably...
I think it was a bit much, but, you know...
Maybe even if he, like, Carlito himself had been like, look, if you're offended by this line, like, sorry, but this is a TV show. Like, I think maybe he could have just personally give a little, like, a tweet or something, but the extent they've gone to edit it out is silly.
You could even have it just, like, it might be too far for you guys, but for me, I feel like if you're offended, here's a disclaimer at the start that there's a joke that might be offensive to some people. But it's the same like they've done with Disney, and I know some people are like, oh, that's so PC. But I'm like, no, it's appropriate because there is some real racist stuff. I enjoy this,
actually, because a lot of the OG Disney films, right?
Some of them have...
At one point there, they were editing stuff out and, like, reshooting and that... To the point now where Disney Plus now, anything that's, like, archived content is left as it is, and it just has that little disclaimer at the start saying that this is shot in a different time and blah, blah. Even just have that like this.
I see it. If we just wipe it, how are people going to learn from this shit?
Yeah.
It's just wiped. Like, people need to be educated and learn shit. So, like, have disclaimers and shit.
So, at the start of the show, right, like, WWE currently in Australia it's still rated M, but in the US it's PG. But like it'll have like the drug references and sexual references and mild coarse language and all that. It's all at the start of the show, right?
Yeah.
You just have this little like, hey, this contains dialogue that may offend certain people or certain cultures or however you want to word it.
Yeah.
And just leave it as is, right?
Yeah, like obviously don't go out every episode and target different races, but if there's something like that and there's a big divide, I feel like something like that should be put in place. So that way, you know, people don't get upset.
Like Vince McMahon making Kalisto and the Lucha Bros carry around a piñata. I can see like why that would be construed as that's a bit on the nose, right? Like that's fair enough. But for this specific thing of da-da-da-da, and he says Chinese instead of Japanese, like, I laughed. I'm not even a big fan of Carlito, but I thought it was funny. It was comedic timing. But again, like, if you're offended, you're allowed to be offended. Like, that's fine. Yeah. But, like, there's the context of, I don't know. I was not expecting the rant to go for this long, but I was just like, I wanted Nova's opinion on the podcast, and I thought that Kye would get a nice little kick out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, like, yeah, it was probably a little bit racist, but it was, you know, Carlito, like, just popping up on the screen. There was that small, awkward moment of silence before he blabbed the line out. I feel like that kind of just broke the tension, and it just, everyone watching would have just started pissing themselves, honestly.
Yo.
Because like, that kind of ruins, like, the whole segment, I legit was like 40 seconds to a minute of, like, the Eos guy and Kyrie were talking to Adam Pearce, right?
Yeah.
But the whole payoff to that, like, they were talking about, like, matches, I think it was, like, for the tag titles or something. But the whole payoff to that segment was that joke.
Yeah.
So now it's just, oh, hey, can we get a title shot? Oh, yeah, I'll think about it. And, like, that still makes sense in the grand scheme of things.
I feel like you could have just reshot the girls in the same outfit, standing in the same area, and just go, we're Japanese, and then walk off, kind of thing. Like, fuck you, buddy, kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
you could add some empowerment. Like, it's a pre-taped segment. You could be like, actually, like, throw some shade back if it was that bad. Like, even like on a future reference, like, have like a, like, fucking funny, like, little thing, and they're like, by the way, like, we're Japanese, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, go educate yourself.
And Carlito's like, oh, like, damn, like, sorry, like.
And then he can still be creepy and go, like that's hot.
The apple's like dribbling out of his mouth because they've just abused him, but because they're like in his face, he's like, whew, and like the apple's like falling out of his mouth and he's like,
he could even make a joke about his own culture where he's just like, and I thought my girls were fiery. Like,
just some like little, there's just some little like thing that they could do, but
tidy it up.
Like, but there was a full like I should have sent you the post, Kai, because it's probably gone forever now. But there was a post about it just saying, like, oh, per whatever, the app has edited out this. And there was just, like, there was literally, like, 200 comments of people. And there was so much, like, name-calling and negativity and just all this bullshit back and forth about, like, why you're right and why I'm wrong. And
But just looking at it, like,
fans.
If that happened on Neighbours or Home and Away, it would just get played off. Like, that's kind of the difference.
Like if they did it on a soap opera, there might be people who'd be like, but they'd most likely have a payoff. And I'm not saying that they have to have a payoff, but it's
stuck in my head. Like, sorry, we're still rambling, but it's stuck in my head about Heartbreak High when old mate, like, this is spoilers for people that haven't seen it, but when old mate gets, like, bashed and stuff by the police, I'm like, shit, that's really fucking
because he gets bashed because he's Indigenous.
Yeah.
Which is a real thing that happens, like, in culture.
Racially profile him, and I'm just like, shit. But it was good education for people that are white, essentially, and don't get racially profiled like that.
Yeah, like, it's obviously a completely different extreme to just a throwaway line, but
that's what I mean. I'm like, it's still, like, something.
You could use this to educate yourself, is basically what we're saying.
Yeah.
And just stop being offended for the sake of being fucking offended. But I think we should probably wrap this up before we end up going.
Well, my last little bit's just essentially, like, cancel culture's both good and bad. There's times when shit should be cancelled. There's times when shit shouldn't. There should be times when there's, like, disclaimer lines and things like that. I'm just like, there's a time and a place for certain things, and then as well as, like, I
think shitty people should be cancelled for being shitty people, but cancel culture, as it's become, should just fuck off.
Yeah.
I just don't want the shit from, like, the 50s with things with, like, women and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those stupid things. Or creepy men and all that stuff. I love that all that shit's getting cancelled and fucked off. But there's some stuff that people are taking too far.
Even with this pod, like, there's been things where I've said with you, with Nova, and even things I've said with Kye where I'm like, oh, fuck, just try, mate, I probably shouldn't say that stuff like that on the podcast. But now I'm just like, fuck it, like, I am Indigenous. I'm the whitest black man you'll ever see. It's just a fact. I said that to Dane, and as an Indigenous man, he laughed. Like, because and as you say, your mum sometimes gets profiled as Indian as well. Whereas if you meet my grandfather, his skin, because he's gotten older, he's gone a little bit more paler over the years, but he looks, quote unquote, Indigenous, right? So, like, it's just this thing of, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm a black man, whatever. Like, I'm the whitest black man you'll ever meet. But if I was to say that to someone, like, I've said that in high school, and they'd be like, oh, you're not Indigenous, or you're not this, you're not that, because you don't look it. And now I'm just like, fuck it, like, I'm going to use that genuine insult to flip it as comedy now.
Sometimes I've had actual Indigenous people say that to me when I was getting approved for land council. They're just like, you don't look black, I don't know your mob black. And I'm like, cool, no worries.
But see, that brings up gatekeeping, which is, gatekeeping is another rant that will take another half an hour, so I don't want to get into that.
There is some mob that are toxic like that, but then... Yeah, it's like, there's ones now and they're like, oh, you just got more milk in your tea, or, you know, like, stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck yeah.
Just the last line, right, before we wrap this up. Some people get called, and it happens to New Zealand people as well, both Indigenous Australians and New Zealanders. If they've got white skin or they enjoy white people things, they get called coconuts. I tell everyone, like, in a joking fashion, I'll be like, yeah, I'm a coconut, because I wear that. But again, it's contextual. If you were to turn around and be like, you're just a fucking coconut, I'd be like, well, why even bring that up? Like, there's no need for that, because we're just having a conversation.
I'll just say as well, I'm also a coconut. I do love a caramel latte, you know.
Yeah, fucking no. Like, I had a mocha while recording this thing. You had I think it was a vanilla latte while we were recording this. Kye, I think he was drinking beer, so that's white people shit right there. He's drinking his beer. Oh, I'm so sorry, Kye. This has just been derailed. But basically, fuck cancel culture was the point of that.
Yeah.
But no, I love that we're like, let's keep this under 2 hours, and it still went 2 hours because of the rant. It's probably going to be like 2 hours and 20 once we do the intro and outro later, but it is what it is. But I'm really looking forward to the next Mark-A-Palooza. I don't know what topic we're going to pick or when it's going to be, because I kind of want to do another Rumble one with that Rumble format, because we've only got to do one of those.
Because I wanted to do that one with Shane.
Yeah, we wanted to do that with Atticus Lane / my friend Shane, but maybe that can be one we can do with Kye, because that'll be utter chaos.
Yeah. Well, I wish we could have the friggin' studio, and even if we called friggin' Kye and had Shane here, and then randomly have like 4 people or something.
4 people. But by the time the Rumble rolls around, we should actually have the studio hopefully set up so we can try to do that. But yeah, and get more printer ink so we can have the proper sheets and stuff drawn up, because I had to do this one on my phone. But I apologise for the last 10-minute rant, Kye. I was just like, I want to get nervous.
Sorry, I'm very opinionated on that stuff, and I could talk about it for ages.
I was like, am I a bad person for laughing at this line? Me and Kye have been sharing memes about this. Are we terrible humans? Well,
yes,
no.
we are.
Well, that aside, I am a terrible person, but for different reasons. Oh, fuck my life. But no, I really enjoyed this, and I love that. Again, I'll just wrap this up by saying the actual Mark-A-Palooza portion of this, with 3 of us doing the cards, somehow went a lot smoother than just me and Kye. I don't know how that worked by adding an extra cook
I
to
was
the kitchen.
supposed to add chaos.
Is that because women belong in the kitchen? Is that an appropriate joke?
Oh no, this is mate. Don't fucking go there.
But see, you know that I say that in a joking manner. But again, context.
That's romance.
Oh,
I don't understand. No romance right now, mate.
It's the more you know sound effect, but
no, it's not. It's really not.
But again, if anyone is offended by that hand joke, sorry, but Nova in the context of this knows that I'm joking, and I saw that even though she said she was going to beat me up, I saw the little crack of the smile of just,
at the same
you
time,
motherfucker,
I'm just you motherfucking would.
She smiled. You're off the hook.
Simpsons quotes for everything, ladies and gentlemen. She did make me some pretty great toasted sandwiches though, so. For lunch today,
this is just a spoiler alert for you, and just makes you look more feminine then, I guess. But you made good toasties the other night at fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep at 2 a.m, so I just made my wife a sandwich.
That's right. It's in reverse. Flip it in reverse.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me see you flip it in reverse. Oh, my God. Kye, thank you for doing yet another ridiculous Mark-A-Palooza episode with us.
Thank you for having me on again.
Great fun.
I look forward to hopefully seeing Survivor Series and hopefully talking to you about it. If not, I'll probably just read the results and talk to you about it anyway. But hopefully I can watch it. Binge has gone up to $20 for the ad-free plan, which is used to be $6 when it first come around. What the fuck?
And not long ago I was paying $16. I'm like, yeah,
they're doing a deal where it's like, $5.99 a month for the next 12 months, but it's the basic plan only, so it's the ad plan. I'm like, I don't want to be watching a wrestling pay-per-view and get more ads in the middle of it than I need to. Anyway, I will let you go, Kye. Thank you for jumping on this podcast. Thank you, Nova, for enlightening us with that ramp and making me feel a little bit better about myself.
I'll try.
Oh, God. I mean, look, let's face it, some of the memes that Kye and I share with each other are probably cancel-worthy, but here's what it is, I suppose.
We get cancelled if we share those memes.
Mine's more, I just have dark humour, so I have to be really selective who I, like, share stuff with, because I'm like, I don't want them to put me in a mental ward.
I don't want to spoil too much, but as we do this episode, we are actually hoping to get Dane on this podcast.
Yes.
So I do look forward to that, and I'm sure that will probably delve into that, because there's going to be questions, because it's not wrestling focused. There'll be questions about dark humour and
branching off a bit more into
and cancel culture and fun stuff. But no, I appreciate you for jumping on, Kye. I hope you semi enjoyed this fucking chaotic.
I certainly did. It was chaos. I love
you
chaos.
may not have brought as much chaos with the actual Mark-A-Palooza, Nova, but you did conquer the coin. So
yeah, finally.
Wrap it back up with that. And you did kind of go as chaos just then by going on that little rant. But that was why I asked, because I was just like, hey, what's...
Yes.
But I appreciate you jumping on, Kye. It's almost 11 p.m. as we record this, our time. I know you're an hour behind us. But I will let you go. Me and Nova Lee will smash out this intro and outro for this episode, and we'll have this up. As I said, it'll probably drop the same time that SmackDown is airing the day before Survivor Series, because we want to drop it the day before, just so that, as always, if any of our predictions and stuff do come true, we can't get accused of cheating. And
yeah.
Happened before.
So Tiffany is going to cash in. Y'all heard it here first. The Rock's going to show up.
Yeah.
But no, I appreciate you jumping on, my brother. I'll probably still keep talking to you and sending you memes regardless, but you enjoy the rest of your night, and thank you for jumping on for Mark-A-Palooza 10. Can you believe we've somehow done 10 of these and people have actually listened to them?
That's crazy.
You have a good night, Kye.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, that was Mighty Kye, and as we said in the intro, it got chaotic. The whole point of Nova joining this episode was to create more chaos. Wasn't meant to be in that formal fashion, but I just had an ADHD moment of, I wonder, strokes beard ponderingly, and it just evolved. I'm not mad, but...
I'm very passionate about these things.
I am very passionate about the stuff and the things that are called life. But Nova, I think as far as the Mark-A-Palooza stuff, and the fact that we're as we record this, it's, as we said, as we record this episode, it's Sunday the 24th. So episode 138 just dropped this afternoon as we record this with Timothy. Go give that a listen. Very, very much enjoyed that episode. But the fact that as we record this, we're a week out from Survivor Series, one of the big four, and we're still got 2, potentially 3 more matches to be added is a bit silly to me. Yeah. I don't know what they're playing out with that. For the most part, this whole Triple H, Paul Levesque era has been awesome, but, bro, we're a week out, and we've only got 3 matches to do predictions for. It's a bit fucking silly, if you ask me. But again, I'm not the one getting paid to make the big bucks, so maybe there's a method to their madness. Maybe these fucking War Games matches are just going to get that much time that they don't want to add too much stuff, which, you don't want to happen. But surely Cody has to defend the title or something on this card. But what was your takeaway, Nova, from this Mark-A-Palooza? Because I wasn't actually tallying whose predictions won the most.
So I can't remember who picked what one, as in more the sense of who actually picked.
Oh, I actually picked the wrestlers. Yeah,
picked the wrestlers. Usually I tally that, but I can't remember.
In terms of predictions, sorry, not predictions, votes.
Votes. I think it might have been me, because there's only one that I didn't win, and I think it was. I did have it written down, but I've lost my bit of paper. There was one there that I didn't.
But maybe we'll get. Maybe this podcast will get big enough to the point where newsos and journalists will transcribe it themselves instead of us having to do it. Because I'm still a little bit sad that I did that with a recent episode. I won't say which one, but it was meant to make PW Down Under, and they were really busy, to their credit. But put a lot of effort as a blind man to transcript a good little section and didn't get used. But here's what it is. But no, I think in terms of, I keep saying predictions, in terms of votes, I think you just beat myself and Kye in terms of like who we voted on for the winners of the respective matches, along with the listener votes, which obviously does make up the bulk. But yeah, really enjoyed this episode with Kye. Would you like to repeat the song and match of the week again, Nova? And I'll try my best to power through all the plugs that we've got to do and
All right.
make some sense of this.
So your song of the week again was for episode 139 was "Hero" by Chad Kroeger, and your match of the week was Undertaker versus Heidenreich.
Heidenreich?
Yeah, sorry, I just got a little bit mixed up.
His name is spelt weird. It's like Heidenreich.
Yeah, and I was like, I wanted to get it right. In a casket match at Royal Rumble 2005.
Banger match. We'll probably rewatch the 2005 Rumble match itself very soon as we creep up on Rumble season. But no, I really enjoyed this episode. As always, you can find us in the description. I will link Kye's Instagram account. I think he's private, so he may have to request you, but that's a good thing because he doesn't like people, and that's fully understandable. But I'll link his Instagram account there, and you know, I'm sure if you're a listener to the show and you're a good cunt, that he might accept you. But yeah, I'll do that. The link trees are there. Mine and Nova's both contain all of the podcast socials. We just had Haywood fall over in the background. If you know, you know. He just fell off the couch randomly. That was strange. I don't know if it was the breeze from the aircon or what, but
he's just tired. We've been rambling for too long.
If you know, you know. But yeah, Haywood the belly and just fell over. As I was saying, both mine and I'm going to leave that in. Both mine and Nova's link trees are there. They contain all of the podcast socials, as well as the Patreon Nova, where you can get early access for as little as
$5 redo.
We have the $5 Rogue tier, $10 Essential tier, $15 Real Main Event tier, and the top tier, the $20 tier,
is the Supernova tier.
Supernova, baby. One day you'll get to use that as your entrance theme, Nova, with that awesome video that @Crossfire_graphics made. Go check them out.
And thank you Forever Damned for the song.
Yes, the AI song, yes. Shout out to Samuel, former guest of this show. But yeah, it's all there. Amazon wishlist, the pro wrestling tees. As we record this, it'll actually still be active just for a couple of days. There is a 10-day Black Friday sale on pro wrestling tees, keeping in mind it is in the US time zone. So it says it ends on, I believe, the 2nd. It'll actually end on the 3rd for us in Australia. I do believe that is correct. Sorry, it should end on the 29th, actually. It went from the 22nd to the 29th. The 2nd is December. There's an extra week in November, John. I can read a calendar. But yeah, from the 22nd of November to the 29th of November, US time, there is a sale up to 60% off on a lot of their items, but all the generic indie wrestlers, that's me, their stores have automatically been made 20% off. So get some merch. Why not? We also do still have a big stack of Radiation Kick shirts on hand here at the compound. Didn't quite sell as many as we would have liked at the show. We did still raise just over $90 though with the handful that we did sell, plus my merch and other stuff. But yeah, we still got that. And of course the GoFundMe is there. We're not going to beg, but it is there. And yeah, with that being said, let me have a look at the upcoming events for this show. We have APW Legacy on Friday, November 29th. Actually, scratch that. That'll happen by the time this episode airs. Botchamania! And the day that this airs, so you can still get tickets the day this airs, because it'll be the night of, MXW, All For One, November 30th. The All For One Rumble, Richie Taylor versus Bobby Fish, Zane Zodiac versus his brother Jason Crash. Jason Crash with Misfortune in his corner, and she's the current holder of the current All For One briefcase, so could be some shenanigans there, maybe similar to what we were talking about with Tiffy in the Survivor Series. Like we were talking about in the Survivor Series prediction, that could be a thing that happens. And then fast forwarding to the next week, ICW Clash in the Capital, December 7th. I'm trying my best to get there. We've got a lot of stuff. We've got C Factor versus Jackson Thornhill. We got a 4-way elimination tag team match to crown brand new, guaranteed new tag team champions because Dozer retired. Therefore, he and Jake Gibson as Metal Militia had to relinquish the champions. Guaranteed new champions. Tank and Manny Whiplash, last man standing match. The best of 6 series, they are tied. The winner of this last man standing match, if it doesn't go to a draw somehow, which would not surprise me, but if someone manages to get to their feet before the count of 10, they will just scrape out a victory in this best of 6 series. And then we also have, I think, Rex in a big match. There's lots of stuff. They've only announced 4 matches so far. Well, actually, that's what I forgot. That has been announced. How could I forget him? Ugh. Apex Anderson is defending in an open challenge for the Aussie title, and then Rex will probably be defending the world title at some point. Oh, I thought you and Apex were cool because you were both Philly fans. But
we are, but
he's
we're
been
not.
putting you over, but
yeah, like it's great and all, but it's just it's my man's at the same time.
Oh shit.
So
well, there you go. If I can't get cleared, maybe Nova Lee will just have to come spear Apex and take the top.
Yeah.
Intergender wrestling is quite frequent. Quite known in the ICW ranks. That's why we retired the women's championship for the Canberra championship to begin with. So Nova Lee, I guess, calling Apex Anderson out. Maybe she'll answer the challenge, but then again, maybe not. But yeah, and then December 28th, they're back in Horsham where it all started for MXW. They have No Regrets, and the link for that will be below as well. And of course, keep your eye out. As we said, as we record this today, Tim's episode just dropped, so keep an eye out for that Suplex show in December for links and everything when that does go on sale. And the Australian Outlaw Wrestling Tour continues to go on. But I think I've hit all the plugs. I think I've covered all bases. We're trying to keep this under a decent schedule here. So as I record this, it's at about 2 hours and 10 minutes with everything combined, so we can keep this up into 2 hours and 15 minutes, considering all the stuff we covered in the actual conversation over. I'll be happy with that. So, is there anything else that you need to plug, or anything that I've forgotten to plug?
I think we've covered it all pretty much.
But yeah, basically, just hit me up for a Radiation Kick shirt. Hit me up for 8x10s.
So you were gonna say hit me up for a Radiation Kick, and I was like, bro, like that's not PG.
Wait, what?
I thought you were going to say, hit me up for a Radiation Kick. And I was like, wow, okay. Like, you're not cleared yet, brother.
I mean, if I get the chance, I might give Apex a sneaky one. Cost him the title, but...
Ooh, okay. Right.
No, I still have stitches in my eyeball. I can't do nothing. It's all good fun.
Him,
if he slaps me the way that he slaps Rob, I'm going to have to punch him in the face, but... Anyway.
Glad I'm not going to be there.
No,
anyway.
I have stitches in my eye, Apex. Therefore, if he puts hands on me, there will be legal ramifications. But yeah, I am the essential John L. Crossfire.
I am Nova Lee.
This has been Mark-A-Palooza 10. This is fucking chaotic as always. But I'll say it again. I am the essential John L. Crossfire.
I am Nova Lee.
I just like when you do that. You guys were just caught
in conversation. Shakalaka and titty sprinkles, y'all.
Stole my line.
You do it to me all the time. This is the thing now.